Welcome to the ESL Challenger League, where we are so very close to the finish here. We are just one series away from our grand final here, the consolidation final between Nouns and Legacy. I'm Darth Mike. This is JRT. John, how you feeling about this matchup?
Oof, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, you see like that marathon that Legacy had to go through in the lower bracket all the way through from beginning to now the end. And I feel like Legacy have done a pretty good job. Honestly, I'm surprised that Marsborn got a map off them because no one else could really accomplish it. Blue Jays did their darndest yesterday, Mike. Legacy had ridiculous first halves on both maps, and then Blue Jays tried to get back into it. They got some rounds together, but it never really felt like they could really get past the finish line, and Legacy eventually closed them out on both of them. And then you look at Nouns, who are a team that are in flux right now. This is not their roster anymore. It's not even their name anymore. You know, it's a weird situation for them, so I kind of feel like Legacy will still have the edge going into this one.
Yeah, I think it's totally reasonable. And if you're wondering why Legacy started in that lower bracket, as we're going to be racing into the game here to keep things on track, it's because they had to forfeit a ton of games based on the travel schedule. They actually only lost one map. Two, in the regular season. So the record wasn't quite indicative of their actual form. We have our Veto. We're starting on Mirage. We're taking it to Dust 2. We're deciding things on Nuke. What do you make of the Veto between these two?
I mean, kind of expected, honestly. If you look at the map pool for both teams, it's kind of Mirage coming through isn't necessarily a surprise over on the Legacy side. They've had good success on it. They've had good success on pretty much every map, but yeah. And then Dust 2, that's the one that Nouns play a lot more than Legacy. Legacy's only played it one time over the last month, and it was a loss up against Fluxo. I don't know necessarily if that loss is indicative of how they're performing against Nouns. And then you have Nuke as the decider, and that one will go either way, honestly, because both teams have been pretty strong in it. Still, as I mentioned before, I have a Legacy lean regardless of the map pool because of the fact that they're a solid 5 that's been together for, I think, 4 months with this current iteration of the roster versus Nouns, who do have a new roster that's, I think, pretty solid overall, but they can't play with it here. So it's going to be weird for Nouns.
It will be. It will be a little strange, for sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, these two teams have played together. Again, they played against each other in the regular season. That was Nuke and Anubis. But we have to get to the Nuke to find out about that. So I think they've got their work cut out for them. I think they've got a challenge cut out for them for sure here, John. Hopefully we'll be hopping in just a moment. We were slightly delayed because of South America, so I'd imagine these games will be starting quick. We don't want to hold you back from the action. In terms of what's on the line here, whether they're going by Nouns or they're going by Moneyball, the reality is a spot in the ESL Pro League would be a massive coup for an organization, for a group that's now unsigned. And meanwhile, on the other side, for Legacy, a team that's had bold aspirations and hasn't necessarily been able to consistently compete at the top, getting a shot at an S-tier tournament would be a huge way to slingshot themselves up the VRS.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think for both teams, this is a valuable opportunity that they'd love to get a shot at. And I think for Nouns in particular, or Moneyball, as they're going to be known after this, if they manage to make it to Pro League, it would be phenomenal for them to just get that chance to really prove their roster. And of course, because the core would still be there, I think they would still be fine swapping in their 2 new players to go and play in Pro League afterwards. But either way, would be something else. It's hard to see that path for Nouns. I see it more for Legacy up against Energy. And then if it is, well, let's put an example here. If it's Energy versus Legacy, I think that will be a very tightly contested grand final. I might have an Energy lean in that situation. But yeah, if it's Nouns versus Energy, I have an even heavier NRG lean. I don't know if Nouns, again, with this current roster, can compete at the level they need to against a team that's been trying or practicing so much on the NRG side for these big events, for these big opportunities to kind of crack through.
And a reminder, just because of our format, there will be a map advantage in that best of 5 final for NRG, so they could get it done in just 2. And it would be a rematch of the upper final. Nouns not acquitting themselves so well there. Just a lot of asterisks on for Nouns. They're not playing with this roster. Things are changing. They're trying different things next season, so they're not bracking with this team anymore. Yes, it's a huge prize on the line, but there's like 3 different asterisks on it. So it's just always going to be a bit of a challenge here. But if you were going to look at one particular player in this matchup, who would you be highlighting from either side that we should focus on here, John?
Oof, that's a good question. I would say I want to pick Dumao on Legacy, honestly, because he's been so important for their roster. He's not necessarily sitting at the top of the scoreboard, but he has so many impactful frags, and he's always a player that you're kind of keeping an eye out for to make ridiculous plays. He was doing that yesterday against the Blue Jays, especially on Ancient. It looked like he was nigh untouchable in certain moments and came out with these absurd clutch efforts that really, when it felt like the Blue Jays would start getting something going, Dumao's right there saying, no, sit down, get out of here. And yeah, he's honestly the one player in the server that I would say you're going to keep an eye out for, because he can come up with these highlight reel plays on a regular basis.
Yeah, I've loved watching Dumao play for a very long time now.
Yeah.
It's almost disappointing that this team's taken such a backseat on the global stage, right? Haven't had the opportunities, because it has felt like Dumao and Lotto have been these talents dating all the way back through into that Godsent project that became 0-0 Nation, that became Legacy. Like, it's been years at this point, but at one point in time, they looked like the next up for the Brazilian scene. And it's been a roundabout way to get here, but when you get to see them on land, when you get to see them have these opportunities, they still remind you of that spark and of what they can do. So now with this new team, with Lux in the IGLing role, with Nissim brought back in, with Sadzin here, you do just hope they're going to get the chances to compete, to show the caliber of talent that they have, because I know it's still in there.
No, I agree with you. I think that this team has a lot to show us, and despite maybe some shaky moments throughout the last 3 months, I think they've still been very solid. Obviously not competing at the major, which I think is their biggest disappointment, having fallen to Bestia with a chance to qualify. But at the same time, they're still sticking together. They're still sticking it out and hoping that they can find a path to that, the next major, the second major of 2025, which I believe is very much a possibility if they can keep up the form that they have now.
Would be nice to see. Would be nice to see for sure, but remains to be seen, right? I think the reality is with this team as well, Lux is still very unproven in the leadership. And so that's one of the things that you're looking to develop, because it's kind of the young leading the young, which is fine if you can keep it working. And they do still have that experienced coach in Chucky, who's been with the guys for a long time at this point. So you still have some consistency in that leadership core, but it's now a very young team. And unfortunately, it seems like we're going to need a little bit more time to get this game underway. So thanks for sticking with us here, folks. But we're going to take a quick break and hopefully be right back when we're ready to go into the server. Okay, folks, we are ready to go now. Thank you for bearing with us on this slightly bumpy road into the server. We are in action. Joining the server for Nouns, we got Cryptic, Peeping, Momo, Calasia, and Junior. And of course, for Legacy, Sadzin, Nissim, Lato, Dumao, and Luck starting over on that T side. They've taken mid control. No contest from Nouns. They're going to give them this real estate. And now Legacy have the choice of where they want to take it. It's just Peeping, peeking out for the bricks. Who could do anything about this? And he's being held in. So it's a fast play up con. They're taking this ground and into the jungle as well. So far, very little resistance. Junior dug out of Sandwich. But Peeping did win his duel. So that'll allow the Catwalk players to come get involved. With a kill on Lato, now the doors are open for this retake.
Yeah. I mean, look, not going to be easy for Nouns to get back on into the site because it is being guarded pretty well by the Legacy here. You have the player on the site and 2 players towards ramp, so it's not going to be easy. And the 2 players on ramp can have full visibility on the bomb, so they don't really have to peek out. Luck's going to take care of business onto Cryptic and Momo. Nissim finds Peeping, and the last is Classia, but he just won't have time. He won't have time to defuse the bomb and find these last 2 players, and he goes down for the count. 1-0 Legacy.
Peeping put some good work in to give them the possibility, but ultimately, always going to be tough when Legacy have that much space, when they take that much control, when they deal with the site defenders. Yeah. Thought it was interesting to see the report that apparently Wildcard are targeting Peeping for their post-major editions.
Yes, of course they're denying it, but we'll see. Oftentimes these rumors are denied because they want to make sure that everything's officially finalized before it goes through. But my feeling is I mean, I don't know. This is just my opinion. I think it's accurate. Peeping really has been that good in North America, and I think he deserves a shot on a team that could be at the top level. And of course, at the major, he won't be able to compete at the major, but still, he is a solid piece for any roster.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? That Wildcard had turned their focus outwards, bringing in the 2 Swedes, and now maybe looking more at the homegrown talent, both to not have to deal with these roster shenanigans as they did with Stewie 2K to ensure an NA core for the VRS, but also to, I mean, the reality is we've had some nice NA talent come out. Complexity showed it nicely with the Knicks and Sixy coming in. We've seen North American talent continuing to develop. JBA on the own team of Wildcard has been looking good. So Peeping, young guy, 19, hasn't had a lot of experience playing CS or Team CS at a high level, but over the last couple of years has shown a lot and a lot of growth. So I'll be interested to see if that comes through. We'll see, but for now we'll focus on Peeping in this matchup. And here in Con had the right idea, didn't have the gun for the exchange. So Lux wins that out, but Peeping was able to set up the trade kill. And now, Cryptic not clear to get right. This is a mistake. Look at the health.
Oh my god.
This scout, it's an AWP with more mobility with the health on these players. And they know where the last is, and Junior can connect. Beautiful work from Junior, moving between the pillars. He didn't even have armor that whole time.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, but I think Cryptic did the work, right? All that damage with the MP9, he's so effective with it in these types of rounds, and you see it here. He gets the 1 frag, then swings around and does even more damage, helping Junior get tag after, or shouldn't say tag, just frag after frag, because he doesn't have to tag them once that damage is done, and the scout, as you aptly mentioned, Mike, pretty much becomes an AWP because of it. 1-1, tied up, as Legacy slip a little bit off of that pistol round victory. Another thing that was interesting about that wildcard rumor, Mike, and maybe we'll get, no, we can talk about it. Peeping's going to get that frag into Lux. Junior is apparently also targeted with Peeping. They wanted to sign him as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. That one caught me not necessarily off guard. Junior's fantastic, but I didn't think that they would want to replace, well, obviously Fuzi in that situation.
Nothing is confirmed until pen hits paper.
Of course.
But it's an interesting storyline to keep your eyes on for the future. This one seems pretty comfortable. There was one, but no Keotas available. So it's a nice start for Nouns.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I mean, look, Force Buy rebuffed immediately. Nouns handled it, made it look like a full-on eco, honestly, with the way they disposed of Legacy. And that's one thing that, you know, this Nouns roster is not short of, is mechanical prowess and firepower. They are quite strong. We already kind of touted how good Peeping is. Classia is a great addition to this squad, who also, you know, plays more supporting roles now, but still, he can come out and make those big plays when you ask it of him. And even Momo, as the sub, can help out. And he's going to do that in the anti-eco here. This should be pretty straightforward. Just Glock's coming forward. And he's anchoring down this B site fairly effectively.
Almost playing with a pogo stick here. Cryptic's got to be careful not to wind up with a dry magazine at the wrong moment. 9 bullets, no, he's going to be able to connect. Yeah, there's that magazine running out. Sidearm's enough, and Peeping is the name of his sidearm.
Yeah, Peeping coming through to close that one up for Nouns, but that is not the round that we are looking for. We want to see this one where the full buy is coming through for both sides. Should be AKs out. We lost someone, unfortunately.
Dropped.
Lux is not in the server.
They need him.
They do.
He's important.
Very.
He tells them what to do. It is always interesting to see these teams where you wonder how much there is direct leadership versus sort of leading by committee. With, I mean, at this point, yes, the whole team is young, but guys like Dumao and Lato have been in this system, have been around for a long time in this consistent core with Chucky. So they've got a good idea of what they want to play, how they want to play it. You'd imagine that there's maybe a bit more of a division of responsibility of the IGLing than necessarily different systems where you have a more experienced caller who's maybe a little more set and rigid. This is all complete conjecture, by the way. I don't have any sources on the ground. I haven't seen the guy since I saw them in Poland last year.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I mean, we don't have anything confirmed, so I don't know either. But I would imagine that it's certainly a lot of voices that are coming through to support Lux, because, as we mentioned already, he's a young player taking on the IGL role. Still a lot to learn, honestly. So
did spend the time with Big Uzera, who many of us celebrate as one of the strongest voices in South America right now. It's a nice start for Cryptic, a rising voice in North America. Smoke up, dissipate. Nade Pop didn't find anything, but the nade thrown does put them on notice. I mean, they still would have been wary of a jungle player, but they certainly do know Peeping's been here. Molotov out. Junior loves to play in that sandwich spot. Peeping, uncomfortable. Does some serious damage, but he can't get a kill this time. Junior's still stuck in here, just waiting for them to come around the corner. Dumao may not expect it. Oh, but he's ready. Trade's available. Cryptic can't get more. Classy is gone. So at this point, bomb's going to get planted, and it's a little tough to see the path back into this site, especially when you consider Sadzen's control in the window.
Yeah, that was honestly good maneuvering from Legacy to get onto this site and regain the advantage, because Nouns had the edge since the start of the round, but Legacy managed to power through into connector, spotted out the defenders, picked them off one by one, very methodically, in fact, and used the utility effectively. Cryptic and Momo are going to try to go for this one. They need the frags very quickly. They will get one, but they need 2 more, and it's only Cryptic at 13 HP. He's so stranded and alone here, and there's just no shot. He was very much surrounded in a crossfire, and Sadzine puts him to rest. Second round found for Legacy, so they're back into it off their gun round, but certainly Nouns weren't out of that by any measure. And it started with Cryptic finding that onto Lux. It's just a great job. As I was saying, you know, Sadzine, you see him working into jungle, and then afterwards rotating on back into the site and clearing out CT. So it was just very well done from Legacy, and we're probably going to see a lot more of that as we move forward. But it was an expensive round for them, and we'll see if Nouns can come back with another full-on buy with 4 A1Ss, and actually the first time Juniors had the op.
Peeping's take this. Dumao's right here. Oh, they got stuck on each other. Dumal's gonna get the kill and the flank. Cryptic doesn't realize in time the comms aren't there. Chaotic in this moment.
Oh no.
Classia burning. Classia eliminated. Even with that one kill from Momo, this is a bang-on save. This is annihilation of the A defense. The dynamic play from Dumal was just too much. There's a brick thrown through the window. Now their storefront is in shambles.
Yeah, Dumal literally storming in through the gates there. Jumping into the action. And they couldn't find him. He was in the smoke, and Nouns just couldn't isolate him, so he manages to get a couple. And it will be a 3-3 tie. Like I said, you know, Dumal always comes out and makes these ridiculous plays, and he has that that potential to just disrupt everything on the server. And he's done it again here to tie up the scoreline at 3. Momo and Junior should be able to save no problem. No one's even close, and no one wants to be close for Legacy because they were sub 1K across the board. They need that money. They want to build up that bank, and they'll have a great opportunity here to do exactly that. And you're going to see, like, he just walks through, and Peeping's like, why is someone even behind me? He doesn't have a chance to calm that over to Peeping. And that's it.
You still got the op and the M4, so there's danger in this round. But how do they deploy that danger? Rifles pushing in towards apps. The op's taking a line into the ramp. There's 2 players Palace. 3 in middle. Classia's gained a little bit of purchase, just seeing no one out the ramp. Question is, do they read too much into this? Cryptic got the deep line in apartments. They got that little peek out of ramp. There's a lot of information actually here for the CTs. The one thing they don't know about is mid. Timely resmoke on Palace. It does seem like this is going to be an A hit. The ops here.
Yeah.
But Junior's going to need to strike real true if they're going to have a chance at this one.
There's
Junior
one.
starts it off well. Deep angle. He's got it. USP finds a kill. Classia unexpected. Yeah, he'll only get one, but it was a USP to see it. And now a player committed in towards the jungle. Junior takes him out of play. And bit by bit, this is coming together. Junior, he's giving himself a real chance. That molly's too deep. Junior's safe behind it, but he's tagged up now. Newsom puts him on notice. Cryptic on the flank. He's found a rifle. Now it's all on Nissim, and they should know where he's playing from. Cryptic's trying to readjust. Didn't have the armor for this. Junior's just got to hit the shot. That's the only way. And they didn't peek together, so Nissim now is able to slip away, but he stays out ahead, and the rifle will win it.
What a close round there. And Nouns kind of gamble it a little bit because they had the M4 and the op over on that A site, and B was very lightly defended at most. And it works out. I mean, look, the rifle doesn't do anything, but it's Junior who manages to connect on the first and make it interesting. Cryptic comes in on a flank in a 2v2 scenario, manages to make it a 2v1. Just Nissim, a little too strong. Obviously, like, the lack of armor and utility, it hurt Nouns in that situation. But still, Nissim good for the 1vx clutch, or 1v2 clutch, I should say, excuse me. And we move into round number 8. Incendiary gets tossed over into the apartments. That's good to delay Lato a little bit. Legacy aren't going to wait here for long, it seems. I think they want to go a little bit faster than they have in the previous rounds. Here they come, Lato with the opener onto Momo. Now Junior's by his lonesome, needs to defend here, gets one, and does damage onto Dumal. So he's held the fort for now, but look at that util. It puts so much pressure on him. He has to throw a smoke down, which just gets rid of all his visibility onto this B site, and now Legacy have taken control of it. Classia could connect onto one here, but he doesn't realize Dumal's this far forward. He has no clue. He has to post up and wait, and in the meantime, he's losing teammates. So much damage done.
This duel is everything. This duel is everything. Classia catches him with an 8 in hand. Now there's the chance to go for this retake. They got to get past the smoke to begin with, but Classia presents an extra element that means that it won't just be every crosshair focused on bricks. Now, that being said, there may be enough crosshairs. Lux down to 1 HP. He's eliminated, and a follow-up as well. It all falls to this op in the apartments, and what a quick shot from Peeping.
Wow, that was absolutely crazy from Nouns. They're able to recover on that one. Peeping, like you mentioned, a quick shot. Not usually the offer, but he picks it up. Takes care of business, and Classia and Cryptic upgrade themselves to AKs afterwards. But this is just good work from Junior, honestly. He manages to get one. Yes, he gets overloaded eventually, but Classia's patience pays off. And then after that, Peeping with the M4 takes care of Nissim, and afterwards the last as well. So, all tied up at 4. Legacy still have enough money to buy up here. But Nouns are certainly proving they're not going to go down quietly at all.
Yeah, and I mean, it's limited, right? 2 players without Util, Galil on Dumal, Galil on Lux. This could be a more straightforward play. Seems like they're going back towards that A take. It's a little lighter for Nouns. Classia jump spotting. He's got the information now. But out towards stairs, here's where the real fight comes in. These flashbangs have been good. It's a hail of utility now, but peeking up and over. Cryptic and Peeping. They're going to combo and pull these players away. Classia burns. But a man advantage, and Lux sectioned out in middle. Cryptic's got the right idea, but he doesn't have the kill.
Maybe a little over-aggressive there from Cryptic, but I do understand the idea, because he knows that Lux is around there, so he tries to go for it. Still had the man advantage, now it's lost. Went for broke. Even numbers, tons of time for Legacy to readjust here, and they're going to go towards the B site, but they are exactly, Mike. They're misreading it because Nouns have already gone to B, and that's where they're expecting it to come.
I'm surprised this is the anticipation for Legacy, but I guess they've shown all the face on A. And now, well, it's too late. Sad's in. He's going to commit. He thinks he's got one player isolated and weak, but Junior was waiting all the while. Momo was the distraction. Junior was the finishing blow.
I mean, honestly, how could you expect that setup in a 2v2? They thought that there was one player on each site, so figuring he has the isolated fight, we'll try to go for it, but Junior's right there to put a bullet right in his back, and Nouns are in the lead, 5-4. Looking at the money, it's not great for Legacy, but they like to do this, like to run that hero AK, so they're going to go for it here. Problem is, around it is just a P250 and Glocks. Let's see what Sadzin can make happen for his squad. Dumal's lurking, but the main hit's going A here. Oh, Classia finds the lurk as well.
What do we think of the hero rifle? Let's find out. Well, hero rifle's gone.
Oh, it's back. It's back.
No armor now. A little less ideal. And it's gone again.
All right.
And John?
Yeah, I think it's...
You gonna kill it a third time?
Probably.
Everybody gets a turn. Oh, there's the nade. Peeping kills him before the nade can.
Doesn't even need it. All right. Nouns. 6-4 lead, and they're forcing a timeout to be used by Legacy here to talk things over. That is a good sign for Nouns.
Nouns do like a bit of the Mirage, don't they?
They do. I mean, like I said, it's a good map for them. It's just that I'm just never sure if they're able to make it work with the older roster that they're playing with right here. So,
yeah, it's a time of flux.
Yeah. I do appreciate the way Momo's playing, though. I think he's playing pretty well, serviceable here on this B site. Not expected to be the star player by any means, just has to pull his weight and appears to be doing so quite well.
It's funny, Momo's occupying a place in the ecosystem these days that to me is reminiscent of Ryu, where he's this super sub who comes into different rosters for a season or a quarter of a season or whatever, and just acquits himself very solidly all the way through. You never really... Sometimes he'll take over. You're rarely pointing to him as a problem.
Yep. No, I think that's really accurate. And that's what he's bringing here.
Space. Look at Peeping. Always in the smoke.
I don't know.
There's no way they think he's here. They already had one player swing out. There's no way they think Peeping's here. Oh, and pulls the trigger after just one. Might get overwhelmed. Didn't realize Duma was around the edge. So it was a bold move, and it has worked out very nicely for Legacy instead of Nouns. with Cryptic now dropped down. It's one player isolated towards either site. Pick your poison. Time for Super Sub Momo to show us what he's got. He's got the first. Creeps out, catches a player with utility in hand. 2 is not the worst. Classia's got a chance at this clutch. Past the window already. Nearly caught a player with utility. Nearly caught the player in bench. Nearly done a lot of things. He knows where the last is, and he's got the headshot. That's not nearly. That's complete and utter victory for Classia.
And if you didn't dodge the nade entirely, he would have been dead too, but he managed to get past it. It was way too far behind him, so he comes out with 100 HP. And this work right here by Momo is so important because also, if he doesn't get that, then Classia has a much harder path to this clutch. What helped him a lot is spotting the player going bench. So he already had confirmed information on the player that wasn't planting the bomb, and he knew the planter had to be nearby on site. And he was absolutely right in all of his reads. 7-4 for Nouns. Another timeout call by Legacy. They're not happy at all with the way this one's going. And we're heading into the final round of play of this first half. Everything's working well for Nouns right now, which it has to if they want to beat a team like Legacy.
Yeah, right after the half swap, things are going to get difficult again. This is nothing conclusive just yet, but it is good. It's good from Nouns.
Yes.
Walks down to the MP7. I mean, I think part of that timeout as well was just to check the finances, figure out what they actually needed to bring in and what sacrifices needed to be made. An MP7.
Don't see that often.
It's like the ump. Some guys just really like it. Is it the right buy? Rarely. Sometimes. Oh my goodness, peeping. Peeping cam.
Again?
No, got the turned on to Mao. How on earth? He's got eyes in the back of his head. And the reflexes of a cheetah. Bomb's headed towards the side plant. Peeping thought he had the finishing blow, but he rushed to the touch, and instead, we got a pretty hopeless situation for his teammates. Cryptic and Junior, what do you got? Junior? Might get some sidelines. There's no reason for them to fight. There's just 0. And now an AWP 1v5. It's not happening here. We'll be right back after this. Live back in for the second half. It's a lead for Nouns, but nothing conclusive here. And it seems like Nouns want to start it with a fast play in towards B, the classic. All 5B, full in on the pistol. Dumas with the dualies here at Van. When's he going to spot? Now he's seen him. Pick his battle line, but the flashbang's good. It pops right in his face. Nissim keeps him clean for the moment. Dumas is somehow able to slide it back into the Van. Catches one, but if they can get a bomb plant out of this, they'll be very happy indeed. Sadzin doesn't want to allow that. At this point, they've got the numbers. Nissim's wary that a middler could come through, but there's none to be had. It's all about these players on site right now. Classy's going to be able to sneak that bomb plant in. So money secured. But now the work to be done in the post. It's all on to Classia, and he cannot hold up to Lux.
Yeah, another strong pistol round coming through from Legacy. They'll get that bomb defusal. And pretty straightforward. I don't even know how Dumas gets away sometimes. How he pulls off some of these frags, honestly. In that situation, he even got back, almost got back into cover, in fact, and finally gets fragged, but still. That was impressive and helped the team secure the lead as it got down to the wire in the end. 6th round for Legacy, 1 round away from tying things up against Nouns, but Nouns got the bomb plan, which means a decent buy should be able to come through. They have an AK, a Galil, the 2 Tech 9s, and the Deagle. Good chunk of util as well to work with, and they're going to use that immediately for a window smoke and a short cat smoke. Spam comes through just for visibility. Gets a lot of it, does Lux, but eventually has to go for that reload. Sees no one there. And fades off from the position to watch from connector. Nouns are sending a couple players top mid. One is lurking Palace. We'll see what they decide to deploy here.
Here comes the check. Dumas. Takes the first out of play, able to pull off those bricks uncontested as well. This is a bold peek from Lux. He gets out with the advantage on the damage, if not the kill. Look at this reroute as well, bringing a 4th player over to help support this A defense. Got the bodies in the right place. Peeping with a kill on the first. Starting to create a bubble in which to plant. There's no one on catwalk, so Momo can get this down. And with everybody in the same position, Legacy have made this retake a little more difficult for themselves than you would expect, considering the numbers. They've got to get out of a choke point, and they don't really have any utility to do so. Scratch that, they don't have any, period. They're backing off.
Wow. What? In a 4v4 with superior firepower, because of the lack of util, as you mentioned, Mike, they cannot go for that retake or don't feel the confidence in going for it. And positions were pretty entrenched for Nouns as well. And you see that Momo finding the head of Lux, he'd get himself an upgrade as well. No, he just wanted to do damage. Sadzina eventually puts him down.
It's the lack of a kit. It was the lack of util.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's tough. A huge coup for Nouns.
Yeah, it is. Especially, again, after Legacy win pistol. That's exactly what happened in the first half. Timeout called by Nouns. First time they've called it here to talk things over. Deciding how they're going to deploy their guns. Looks like they want to have a MAC-10 on Momo. Classia with the MP7. And then the rifles for the rest. They know that Legacy had a 4-man save, so confirm that there's still a lot of firepower on their side. Now they'll have the util, or at least more of it, to back them up.
Away we go. Going for the heavy mid play. Sadzin's taking space. There's a smoke here, but there's no one behind it. So Sadzin's going to quickly realize that this is a paper tiger in mid. And that means the numbers can go back towards the A site. Prepare for this hit. but they don't seem like they want to commit. Momo's in position in the underpass. Smokes are getting thrown, maybe to activate Momo here, but with these two players aggressively posted in towards mid, there's no reason for them to look away.
Yeah, I really think Nouns just wanted to get some utility out towards mid, kind of attract the attention a little bit of Legacy and hopefully pull players off the A site, but it doesn't really happen. There's still 3 here ready to receive them. Util's out, good smoke pop. Cryptic tries to use it, but he can't. Lux is actually going to connect with the scout shot through that smoke. Zadzine gets another one, peeping, hoping to strike, and does, but he's losing his teammates left, right, and center. Junior also collects one, but look at the health here for Nouns. 19 for Peeping, 28 for Junior. Peeping has to be great, and he cannot get that frag on Lato, leaving Junior on an island by his lonesome, surrounded by Legacy players. If he gets Zadzine, never mind. Lato will find him before he gets a chance to think about Zadzine, and the round is over.
No chance to escape. No chance to slip away. Legacy will not be allowing that. So despite the limitations in that buy, the save proves fruitful. They capitalize. And a huge part of it was that aggressive double up setup in towards mid. It just meant that whatever Nouns were throwing, it didn't rattle the confidence at all. They knew exactly what was coming.
Certainly. I think, oh, nice nade onto Junior. I mean, technically
they're going fast. They're going loud.
Oh yeah, they're going to go fast, yeah.
They're going super loud with the Tech 9s. Total brawl in towards mid. Lux and Zadzine looking to take these players out of play, but they run out of bullets. They run out of bullets, and now it's a 3v2. Here we go. Tech 9 success. You will take that exchange rate every day of the week. And these players are totally sectioned up as well here. John Nissim is alone.
I mean, I have to say, Nouns have had the worst buy technically in all 3 of these rounds that we've just seen. And they've found some decent success. And right here, a 3v2, Nissim has to pop off, and he gets one onto Cryptic. Glacia and Junior are looking to charge down, find that trade immediately. Glacia, can he flick? No, Nissim's too good right now. Junior, 1v2 clutch required. He's good for it. Has to find that first fight, and he can't. Nissim maneuvering so well on this B site, Mike, securing the 3K and the tie.
That is a very nice play from Nissim, but it's also a huge error from Nouns. They weren't ready to go out and trade each other. If they're just hitting explosively after that first kill, if they're all on the same page, there's just no opportunity for Nissim to do it.
Yeah.
But instead, they give them a chance to reposition, to isolate each of those fights, and he is flawless with them. Having a really strong map of play, 15 and 8 after that 1v, or effectively 1v3 on the site with his teammate very far away. That's tough. Deep shot for Cryptic, but that might just be a consolation prize.
It almost certainly is at this point. Cryptic. Last one standing, surprisingly, even though he's been peppered down this entire time, and finally will be put to rest by Lux. 9-8, Legacy back in the lead. It's really been very back and forth so far here in this second half, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to change. This could be a critical round here for Nouns, because if they lose it, then their economy is going to be in a little bit of trouble, and so were their chances of getting a win here against Legacy on this first map.
Momo. On the angle, deleted by a cheeky peek from Lato. The aggression out A main, nets them a kill, nets them some information as well. And with his deep line on Zadzine in towards the Palace, it's a ton of control towards A. Glacia is not going to test it for the moment, but they have gained purchase up the catwalk, so it seems like B is going to be something they'll end on. Need to get some early kills. Just missing Nissim for this pillar here. Could be up a lot further than Legacy realized, but now they know. And Nissim playing a bit of an off angle here. He can capitalize. Dumao and Nissim, what a terrifying duo to be walking into. Stuck in Palace. Bomb committed here on Cat. gotta go. But there's just
They can't get
no
past them.
way out. Now the reinforcements are here. Yes, you killed Nissim, but there are 4 more players you got to contend with. 30 seconds to try and find a way here for Klasia. And well, they're giving him some chances, but that nade will end his opportunity.
Yeah, that's a tough round for Nouns. Honestly, Nissim and Dumao played so well off each other from bench and van. You know, each exchanging chances at their opponents, kind of going back into cover while the other one peeks out, and just Nouns could not deal with it at all. And now they're in a very tough spot, right? I mean, it's 10-8. Your economy's been broken. You have the loss bonus at full, so that can help you out, but not in this round, as it's going to be 4 Tech 9s, a Glock, and some sparse utility for them to work with. They're already grouping up towards this A side. I think they're going to wait for a moment to throw a mid smoke here. Actually, that's a con smoke he's going to throw. And there it goes. Sadzine gets the opener regardless here, Mike, and here comes now trying to storm into this site and at least get a plant for themselves. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Lato is just making it look easy here. 4 in a row, and Legacy getting 11th.
This might be the last hurrah. It's looking like the last hurrah here for Nouns. Their best chance to make a game of this here and now. It is Legacy's map pick, so take for that what it is. But Nouns certainly no strangers to playing a bit of Mirage.
Yeah, they're a good Mirage team, so don't count them out just yet. They need something right here. 3 AKs, the Galil and the AWP. Lux going aggressive, could get punished for it. Dumao's actually gone, and so is Lux and Nissim. Lato gets one back, a second, trying to transfer for another one, but no one was there where he was transferring to. And they've lost so much health here, Mike, and Lato's also lost his life. 3v1. So explosive for Nouns.
So just time to save this AWP. Play the long game. Position exposed. There's a temptation to hunt, I'm sure, but there's no reason that they should give him a road back into this. So you don't want to invite him to attempt a clutch.
Yeah, not to mention the money is not in a great spot for Nouns either, so losing any bodies could hurt them. Look at all that cash for Legacy too. Lato's at 10.8k.
Yeah. The hunt does not favor
It's not
Nouns.
worth it. Exactly.
The prey is too dangerous. This is not a Predator movie. Do not hunt the most dangerous game.
Terrorists win.
What do we have on that op for Sudzin? There's a Kenny sticker, I think.
Didn't get a chance to see it actually.
Take a peek here in a second. We got slow-mo replays.
Maybe we won't see it.
Maybe we won't. We'll see it again at some point. It'll come back around.
Yes, for sure.
Great cosmic cycle. We will see that off once more. Fast mid control here for now. They're looking to take the space. They're being dynamic. They're being assertive about this. Molotov flushes a player, but he was already preempting the move, so Cryptic doesn't get caught. It's not the way Dumao was intending. Just licked by the flames.
Not sure I'd want to be licked by flames.
It's kind of what happens.
Yeah, I guess it is. Just sounds unpleasant.
I don't think it is very pleasant to burn. In my experience, I can't say I've enjoyed it when it happens.
Definitely.
Junior gets the opener. It was a deep kill onto the ticket player, so that was Sedzin, his counterpart on the other side. This is a little disjointed from Nouns. The apartments players were thinking of going out. They've got the player in ladder. They've got a player underpass. And they're adjusting, but there's only 35 seconds left, John. So
This is risky.
There's not a ton of adjustment left to do, and they're adjusting into the stack.
Oh, man. This is called overthinking things.
Perhaps. Flashbang. Smoke's coming through. What's the point of lurking a player out? Okay, hit the bail. But it's too late. It's 15 seconds. What's the idea here? You gotta move. You gotta go. There's still 2 players defending. They don't know about the Tetris. They don't know about Lato. They don't know if he could just drop this bomb.
Why?
Oh, but he can't deny it in time. He chose the wrong target to start with. Lato still has a chance at this clutch, but the timing's going to be so tough. He had the right idea, but Classy is able to put it away.
Oh my gosh.
They went right into the jaws of Legacy, and they shattered their teeth.
Honestly, Nouns overthought it, made a mistake, and they still managed to get the round victory. Also, Lato made a mistake because he peeked out. He had full visibility on the planter and instead chose to take a different fight despite having time. Look at that. Perfect amount of time. But he went for that fight first when he didn't really need to, given the amount of time left on the clock. I understand it. Maybe he's like, oh, I'm going to get traded if I go for the bomb planter first, so I got to go for this guy. But at the end of it, it doesn't work out for him the way he drew it up. 10th round found for Nouns. 22nd round of play. And this is still anybody's map. If Nouns take it, steal away Legacy's map pick, given their performances on Dust 2 over the last 3 months, a 2-0 wouldn't be out of the question. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We still have to decide a winner here on Mirage. And you're going to see Nouns toss that mid-utility. 1 for window and 1 for short cat. Dumao throws some util of his own. There's the incendiary. And Peeping doesn't really see it because of the flashbang, so he's down to 65. A little bit of damage done. Legacy looking to readjust. They've given up mid entirely, Mike.
That they have. The double pushing towards ramp is their adjustment instead, but there's still Palace Lurk. And Sedzin has to be aware that this is a possibility. Do they wrap Lux to clear Palace? No. Lux is going through spawn. Keep an eye on that. He's game purchased in the back lines, and there's not a ton of information for Nouns to go off of right now. So if they stall out, the bomb could get dropped top mid. They could be in a lot of trouble. Junior has an idea that this could happen. Oh, he's just missed it on the angle. Lato now gets 1 kill. All it takes is for them to be stumped a little bit to stall out just a touch. And Lux is coming. Big kill from Lato. Peeling out from the ticket booth. Now the bombs drop. Now that flank comes to fruition. Lux, he has been patient. He has been dogged in his approach. And now he has secured map point for his squad.
Unless... No.
It will not be unless.
I'm kidding.
Not today.
It was like a 0.01% chance there. It was like unboxing a knife there if you would have gotten that. Anyway, 12 to 10. I like how my odds are.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good way to put it in perspective, people.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to open a case to a gold, those are your odds. 1v5 coming out of Palace where they know you where you are. There's a smoke in your face and you don't have bomb control.
Yep.
Save your money.
Please do.
All right. Moving on through. Could be done here and now.
Yeah.
Could be done. Sadzin gets the opener. That's one step closer to the close. And Cryptic trying to overwhelm, knowing he had an isolated fight, but just a Tech 9, it's not enough. The weaponry is not holding up. The bodies, they're fallen by the wayside, and Legacy are just steps away from victory here. You want to come around that window? Well, Sadzin is ready. I think he'll find purchase. Might find the space, but Lux comes in to support his op, and there is just nothing to be had here for Nouns. They've made a good fight here on Mirage, but it feels like they're coming up empty when it matters most.
Yeah. Feels like in those high pressure situations, just Lato Lux and Dumao have been so very good, and you're going to see here Sadzine making it only one player left standing. Classia, 1v4, odds are low. 35 seconds on the clock, but he does have the bomb on his back. Thing is, he has to get a move on here. There's no time to delay. He will get one, but only one insta trade from Dumao, and there it is, Mike, 13-10 for Legacy.
Confirmed, a locked-in Legacy taking their map pick, moving on in this series, and looking strong, I'd say, while doing so.
Yes.
Strong individual games from Nissim and Dumao, certainly. And there were some moments, some explosive moments for Nouns, but by and large, it was the Legacy in control for much of this map.
No, I would agree. I think that Nouns, honestly, were very serviceable on Mirage. They did a good job and had some great calls coming through, in particular on their T side. It's just, at the end of it, it was the individuals, as you already highlighted. I think Lato deserves a mention too, because he was very solid under multiple circumstances there on that CT side. And let's not forget, he got those 2 opening frags in that last round of play to really put things away against Nouns. So yeah, Legacy, it's as we expect from them, right? Strong individual efforts. When things get really high pressure, they deliver.
The big question is going to be as we head into the Dust 2, right? Nouns have done enough to feel confident. They can certainly go toe-to-toe with Legacy in the firepower department, and they had some moments where they definitely called them out. Now we head to their more comfortable map. Now we head to their map choice. Are they going to be able to take us to a third? Are they going to be able to send it through to Nuke? That's a question we have to answer after this break.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
We're back from map number 2 of this consolidation final. Only one step between Legacy and the grand final of this season of the ESL Challenger League, but Nouns might just make that step a challenging one here as they look to make it a very tough to bring on through for that matchup against NRG. It's Dust 2, though. It's Nouns' map pick. How do we rate them here, John?
I mean, very highly, of course. 19-7 over the last 3 months. They're on a 3-game win streak up against Bad News Capybaras, Vagrants, and looking for Orc, but Legacy is none of those teams. They are above each and every one, I'd say, in every measurable statistic possible. So I don't know if necessarily all the success Nouns have had will mean a lot against a Legacy roster that, sure, they don't play it that much, 7 times the last 3 months, and 3 of those are losses, but, you know, losses to 9Z, to Fluxo, you know, and then wins against Astralis in Control and Fluxo twice. So, yes, they lost to Fluxo actually when it mattered the most to qualify for the major, but still, you know, they've had success on this map in the past. We saw the pieces, you know, we saw Lato on that previous map, Dumao as well, Lux looking very good individually, and that's what the thing about Dust 2, it's individuals that can really shine on this map. And if you're firing well, if your mechanics are strong throughout a series, then Dust 2 could very well favor you. So despite the fact that Nouns have the better numbers on this map, I'd still say that Legacy are either going to put up a very good fight or could even take it right here.
It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question for sure, and I think one of the things that might ironically factor into the favor is that Sudzin, the Alper, had a relatively quiet one on Mirage. It's not because he was necessarily making huge errors, but more so that other players were stepping up. And so if he can come online, we know he's certainly capable of it, and have a very strong map here on Dust 2, he could be one of those tipping points to send Legacy over the line.
Speaking of which, Junior on the other end could definitely be a tipping point in favor of Nouns as well if he starts to fire off and can shut down and silence Sadzine. There's a lot of pieces, as I mentioned before, on Nouns that can do the damage as well. Peeping not necessarily having as much impact as he would have hoped for, perhaps, on that Mirage map, could come through here and make it even more impactful. And Classia has always had some fantastic performances on this map in the past. It always reminds me of the time when, I can't remember which team he was on, Mike, but he was pushing down long and just taking every single fight himself and winning control of the A side without any assistance required. So you have the pieces on both sides to find success here. It's just about who is better today. And right now, after that first map, it's absolutely the individuals in my mind over on the Legacy side.
It's fair. It's a fair judgment to make. I mean, obviously they did win, but when you consider it as well, winning both pistols, if I'm not mistaken, the map was quite close. So I think if you're Nouns, there's a lot of ways that you could tell yourself that this is going to be okay, that this is actually going to be recoverable. But the proof, as always, is going to be in the server.
No question. Yeah. I cannot heap praise enough on this Nouns roster for what they've done throughout the season, what they've done in the past, and now working with a roster that isn't their full roster right now. They're still looking effective, which is impressive in itself. I think it speaks to Cryptic's talents. I've said this before, you know, his ability to juggle these two rosters and still come out with strategies that work for each one, simultaneously playing with different ones in the same day sometimes. So it's a challenge. And it just goes to show you that these guys have a lot of resilience and the capability to come up with, you know, a potentially upset victory against a team like Legacy.
Most certainly. Most certainly. And that loose style, I mean, it might lead to some unpredictable moves. We saw certainly both sides were comfortable getting into the mix, getting aggressive with their decision making. And I think that's something I'd like to see continue for Nouns, right? You might as well. You're playing with house money. You're playing with a roster that's dead here. Just get weird with it. Get wild. Get aggressive and see if you can't get Legacy off their game.
No, I do agree. Go for it. And they are going to go for it here as we're starting with the second map of play. Nouns hoping to secure a pistol round for the first time in this series. Legacy took both of them on Mirage. But they were close. Now Nouns have to find a way to make it close and a win in their favor instead.
And I mean, Nouns did get force buys after both of them. So this time, might as well just win the pistol.
Yeah.
Double set up a card. This is unexpected, though. First one revealed. Duma's dead. But there's no way. They think Lux is here. Still able to trade it out. So all that effort to mount the setup, and still this bomb goes down, and Peeping's
player.
coming through B.
Yep.
A little late to do too much about this, but there's the shot. Nissim comes back, and that proves to be the fatal flaw. It all falls to Lato now. He's going to give it a look. He's going to give it a try, but he needs these headshots that he cannot find. So it is going to be Nouns to win their first pistol of this series.
And there we have it. Momo with the 2K. And Nouns finally get a pistol round. As you mentioned, Mike, the force buys went their way both times on that previous map, and now they won't have to do the force buy. They get a full buy. Well, almost full buy, of course, because the money's still not there yet, but it will be 2 AKs, 2 MAC-10s, and the Scout in Junior's hands. On the other end, Legacy, okay, double Scout. Lato and Lux going to be rocking those. And the rest of the players have those pistol upgrades. Going to be 5.7s and a Deagle. Okay. Lato with the Scout towards mid, and I believe the other Scout is in Lux's hands at long. That's exactly the case. Although, it's being adjusted now. Lato wants to go to the B site, and now Lux, while he's watching Cat for now, I'm assuming will close the space into mid? We'll have to see how they end up deploying this.
Right now, mid's just being spotted by Sudzine with that 5.7. So if they do opt to go through the mid doors, it's not going to be ideal for Legacy, though Lato might be able to adjust to support. Catwalk seems to be the test, which means Lux will get a chance. He's forced off the angle, but able to reset towards ramp. It's a good adjustment from Sudzine to get a little closer to this in case this is going to be the mid door split. He can try and play around the smoke, and there is that smoke, which has been blocked.
Nice block.
Doesn't create too useful of a gap. Well, might just offset, and now the spam on through Sudzine. He's got angles. He's got motion. He's got a gun. Just a scout, but the 5.7 has done plenty of work,
God.
and Nouns are being disintegrated here. They couldn't get out of mid. So the tunnel's presence, they've come through, but it's too late, and the bombs drop down. They have to fight their way out of the B site, and that's a nightmarish ask. Clasia will start it well, though. Eyes on Jumao coming through the tunnel. The players on the other side of this, they're all just melting away. All this work that Sudzine's done. And he's still got to find more. He's still got to find more. Time is running out, but
Ace.
so is Sudzine's life.
That is the ace for Clasia. Talked about him loving Dust too, and well, you don't love it any more than that when you get all 5 frags on the round and Nouns convert off of the pistol round victory. It almost felt like they weren't going to for a moment, right? Those 3 frags came in for Legacy. Clasia really had to stand on his head to bring that one back. And really had to also have his head on a swivel, going back and forth between mid and those B tunnels at one point from the window position. That being said, finally, there is going to be a conversion off a pistol round victory. Nouns find the first one in the series, and Legacy are on to an eco here. 2 Deagles, a 5.7, a P250, and a USP. One of those Deagles is on that A site, and Lux chooses to jump down, spam the smoke instead of holding the site. Nouns take full control here, Mike.
Bomb down. No way back in. I guess Dumao has something worth saving in the armor, but the rest presumably will play for exits here. Try and choose their routing for it. Nouns moving up to that quick 3-0 in the series. But reminder, Mirage started pretty well for them too. Yes, they didn't get the pistol that time, but they did get the force. And a nice 3-1 line before Legacy really got stuck back in with the rifles.
Legacy going for something here towards long. That was Lato peeking around. Now he's wants something to do with it. Junior spots out Sudzine. And at the end of it, almost everyone survives. Only 1 casualty of Sudzine. So it's not too bad for Legacy, right? We said they didn't have much to say, but it's still pistols, and you know, you don't have to reinvest into that. A little bit of money that gets carried over. Now they'll have 3 A1Ss, the A4, and the AWP on their side versus Nouns, who don't yet have the op in their hands just because they don't want to invest into it yet. Just carry over what they had in the previous round, and Junior's on the MAC-10. We'll see if it makes a difference. Nouns are walking into Lato's M4. Lato gets one nade, connects onto Classy and slows him down a bit as he's trying to retreat. Incendiary pops off. They have full control, do Legacy, of lower tunnels off of that utility, but Classy's trying to fight back in. He wants the action here. He wants to win this fight against Lato, and he eventually will not. He falls. Cryptic will avenge him, but it's still a man edge for Legacy.
Space at least has been retaken. Peeping working his way through the doors. Locks. Bit of an off angle on this. Peeping's prepared. Walk on up to put that threat in the mind of the B player, and it would have been a good idea. It's just Nissim here in the defense. They're still giving a look through the doors, and Momo, if he's patient, Dumao might come looking for it. Nice shot on. Dumao felt like he needed to do something to take back some space, but Momo was waiting for that very move. Sadzin highlighted him as potentially a difference maker on this particular map. He's got to deliver here and now from the car. Strikes down the first. Molotov at his feet. He's burning. And his feet of flame. He cannot find his shot. It falls to Nissim here in the clutch. Smoked off. He's going to use the cat boxes instead. Cryptic will punch in the numbers. Nissim getting closer. Now reveals himself, but with the kill. It falls to Peeping. And Peeping tagged up, but still finds his frag.
Wow. Great clutch coming through from Peeping. It will require a full reinvestment aside from Peeping in the round that started off quite promising here for Legacy. A 5v3 that Nouns managed to fight their way back from. I don't know that that was necessary, Mike, for Dumao to push long. He could have just waited and played off of Sadzin there. In pit, perhaps, but instead decides to go for the aggressive play, and that's what really starts to tilt things in Legacy's favor. We see what a difference that cat box has made to Dust 2A, though, because previously, before it was added, well, we'll get back to it. You guys know, though. He couldn't do that. Now you can. There we go. Thought finished. Cryptic's going to get a couple here. Cryptic will get the 3K in the end. Lato is the last one standing. But I guess just to finish off my thought a little bit, it's just, it gave Nissim a chance to clutch out a 1v2 that before would have required him going up ramp, and not to say that he wouldn't have been able to get it, but it just gives you that immediate leverage to get the higher ground. It was a great change, to sum it up.
SA by JRT.
I love to analyze these little changes.
Time to get into the video essays, John.
Perhaps
They're calling
so.
to you.
They might be.
They're calling to you. This round was calling to a long fight. Everybody fought long. Legacy full committed into it. Nouns brought the bodies there. Won it out. That's good old-fashioned Counter-Strike. None of this faking or overuse of utility or default thing. Just everybody, we're going long. Everybody shoot everybody. That's Counter-Strike right there.
Five to nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Nouns love to see that kind of Counter-Strike because, yeah, that 5-0 exactly, John.
Yeah, for sure. 5-0 looking fantastic for them. Still, Legacy, they've got their buy back. Lato going for the MP9. He didn't have to. This is a conscious decision to go on the MP9, excuse me. Where is he posting up with it? In mid? Okay, Lato. What do you got up your sleeve? Maybe he wants to get aggressive into lower tunnels? And he feels like that's his best chance to make an impact? Well, and that's not happening either.
Looked like they were going to assemble something here towards Catwalk, but with
Yeah.
Sedzin now on the angle, Lux is going to back away. It's pretty defaulty at times here for Legacy. Oh, Lancer, the two mollies, the exchange.
I just want to understand why the MP9.
He's feeling it.
Guess so.
35 seconds. Time's getting real short. They got to pick. They've got nothing to light their way. They don't have any kills. They don't have any information. Really, there's not a lot of util here for Legacy, so they're not going to be able to stall out the choke points. There's a one molly on Nissim. Here comes the cross smoke. 20 seconds, though. They are so lucky there's not a nade to pop that smoke.
I don't think they're going to get bombed here.
It's not looking good. Through the smoke they go, knowing that everyone would have to be face forward. There's just not enough time. Classia, he'll find that kill, but he cannot find the round. Nouns were looking for a signpost to light their way, but they found themselves lost without a map and running out of time.
Yep. Didn't execute when they needed to, honestly. Just waited way too long. Didn't have to because they had a path forward. And in the end, had they had more time to get to that B site and weren't so panicked to clear the angles, I think they could have been successful. But obviously, given the circumstances, they rushed things a little bit. And when you rush things, you miss out on the little details. And that's exactly what happens. So, oh, Junior gets tagged. Nice job there from Sadzine. And I mean, to be quite frank, I feel like Nouns kind of handed that first round to Legacy when they could have put an even greater stranglehold on the match. Given Legacy a lifeline, something you never really want to do. Now you need to have an instant response. Peeping, hoping to get that response, moving up Cat, facing off against Sadzine, baits out the shot, so now he can peek around here a little more safely. Sadzine completely gives up the angle. Goes towards Car. Still 3 players here leading into the A site.
We were talking about Sadzine stickers earlier. He's got the Zaiwu and the Kenny S.
Oh.
It's a who's who of French oppers.
He's a fan of the French scene.
At least that op is. Molotov tick here. Nouns, they're getting whittled down and they're getting stalled out. Here comes the explode. Up the catwalk they go. But the first kill goes the way of Doomau, and there's still a player sitting in these boxes. Lux waiting for his moment to strike. Now just starting to pop off shots. But with Doomau gone, there might be an opportunity for a bomb plant. 25 seconds again. And with that bomb dropped, oh no, time is once again getting away from them. Crypty, you can't leave. There's no other path. Momo's trying to come into support just to give him the comfort to plant the bomb, and they will give him the space. They will do that. But that's what's allowed Lato and Lux to reroute over towards Cat. So this duel with Momo is everything, and Momo gone means Cryptic's now stuck between a rock and a hard place. He has to fight one direction or another. So he'll try and duel with the one player out towards Long, but now the double up from Cat. Legacy string together too.
Yeah, it's a tough decision for Cryptic, honestly. Bomb planted for Cap, but you know that there's at least one player, probably 2, coming from that direction, and Long wasn't cleared out, so chose to fight Long to try and win that fight. Didn't get it, and in the end, there's just too many bullets and bodies coming his way, so he gets overloaded. At least he pulls off a bomb plant for now, so it keeps that economy flowing. But yeah, you saw them trying to get onto that site in the first place, and just a great job from Legacy to drop most of the bodies. Didn't deny the plant, but that's what they've been doing with the rifles going back to Mirage. Now Nouns, as mentioned, still have a good economy. The bomb plant helps a lot. The 4 AKs and the op coming through. You see Legacy there stacking 3 bodies up here towards Long temporarily just to get that early util salvo out. It's done. And Lux has given up the space. But they leave Sadzine and Doomau here. Sadzine going for an aggressive peek. That's a mistake. Junior was waiting for exactly that to happen. And there's an early punish.
He's been having a tough go of it here as well. Not really able to find the impact on the AWP today so far. Nissim, though. Let's see how he does. Because they're coming his way. Nissim. This is the round. He's going to be able to connect the first. Able to get away as well. Not chased. Control up in towards mid. Lato, a critical fight to find. Lux follows it up as well. And now, Nouns trying to fight ahead of that cross smoke, they're going to regret it.
Absolutely. Just have to be a little more patient, and instead they lose a player, and Junior tries to peer out into B site. Nissim finds him. 2K for Nissim with the AWP. And misses that shot on Momo, but we'll have another opportunity at it. And doesn't miss the second time thanks to a flashbang from Lotto. There you go, Nissim 3K. Speaking of 3, that's where Legacy are as well. 3 in a row, in fact, looking to make it 4. And the economy is still, I mean, it's there for Cryptic. Junior's got 4K, but you have to pump the brakes, I think, in this instance. You still have the lead. Things aren't exactly going your way, and I think a timeout wouldn't be a bad idea to call, just to talk things over and settle yourselves down and get out of your own heads, because it feels like Nouns are really stuck up in there, overthinking things, not going out with confidence, and it's costing them. They had the opening frag in that round, but they just tried to fight in ways that, in some cases, didn't make sense, like going ahead of the cross smoke.
It is important to remind us that they no longer have a coach. Adren no longer working with the team.
True.
Instead, standing in for complexity as coach on trial. Alongside Junior, actually. He's been registered as their substitute player, assuming that Halswick's visa woes continue.
I mean, you hope that the visa woes will be solved, but you can't help but also want to see Junior playing on home soil. I don't know, that's a tough one for me.
I always want to see teams starting rosters, but
of course,
certainly Junior will be an able fill if required. Cryptic needs someone to fill in for him in this round, and well, they might need a whole lot of substitutes in just a moment. We're in a sequel to the replacements. No one's left on Nouns.
Yep, 10th round to play. That 5-0 lead is pretty much gone. Nouns going to have a buy-up coming through here. You see, just disposing of those Tech 9s very methodically. Nissim, as the secondary op, decides to go for the pistol instead. It works. And there's that time that I was talking about. Yeah, you have to call it if you're Nouns. Talk things over. Get yourself sorted out on this next execute. Go with more conviction. It has been lacking.
What would you like to see them run here, John?
I mean, to be honest with you, going down mid hasn't been the worst for them. I think trying to take that mid control a little earlier on, a deep smoke in towards those double doors, not the one we usually, like, not the usual cat smoke, of course, that new smoke that's thrown all the time, that blocks off full visibility and allows you to see in from lower as well, would be advisable. I think they're trying to throw it here. Yeah, looks like it. But they don't take that mid control I was talking about. I was thinking they'd go mid to B, maybe get a nice little attack going in the upper tunnels as well. Because I feel like they've got a chance to really take over at that B site if they're effective. And there's a good shot from Lato. I guess, look, they're going to make it work.
That's an engagement we've had a few times.
Yeah.
Where someone comes looking into that angle.
Happening?
Look at the flashbang.
What is happening?
Dude, there's a player behind you.
What's
Momo, turn
happening?
around. Momo. What? What are you looking at?
Why is Dumao alive?
Is that comms? Is that... What on earth?
I think they were all blinded at some point.
Initially,
yeah.
Momo's vision was definitely clear because as was Dumao's. But there was another player out towards long that he was fighting with. That's chaos. That is pandemonium. Sides in.
Oh.
Cannot win the fight. Peeked into and deleted. Already done some work in this round, but with the bomb getting planted, there's still very much a chance here for Nouns. It looked like abject disaster, excuse me, after that long implosion.
I think that shadow was spot. Yeah.
That was ambitious.
Yes, it was.
Felt like they need to fight forward. Felt like it might be isolated. And again, a duel mounted. And a duel failed.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, the fact they even got the bomb planted and found the inside is kind of a miracle given the way things had fallen apart towards long and they couldn't find Dumao. Everything was weird for Nouns on that execute. They tried to make it work, but it feels like they're a little disjointed still.
There's so much money over on the Legacy side that they've dropped ops to pick up AKs. Look at this. What?
It's insane.
What?
How?
It's
How?
just the confidence with which Momo swings out a dumpster when there's a player who's right there. There has to be absolute pandemonium in the comms at this point.
I don't know if
imagine.
I've ever seen that, Mike. That's insane.
Dumao had an AK too. It's not even like he had a silencer.
No, yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. This time, not going to work out for Dumao.
Go back to the exact same thing, yeah.
Let me just get flashed again. Let's see how it goes. Maybe we get a twofer.
I mean, great recovery from Legacy regardless of what happens here, because that's 5 in a row that they've pulled off. Dumao gone, and there's the response immediately. Sadzine, you called him out at the beginning. He's starting to hit his shots. And there's a big one there, supported by Lux as well. He legs Junior down to 18. Nade toss. Will it go far enough? No, definitely not.
I don't know what kind of arm he thinks he has.
John away.
He needed that kind of an arm to get through. Still. Junior's out of play. That's supposed to be your insurance policy, potentially. You still got this up here at Gandalf. They don't have util to unseat them. Apparently, everyone's just going to be touching in smokes. And Lux sprays down both. Legacy, at a minimum, have 6. And considering how this half of play started, considering the fact that we had a 5-0, this is a wild reversal of fortunes.
It really is. And I mean, it seems like every time Legacy get their economy settled and have that full buy that comes through, because it was a little bit messy in the first 5 rounds, that's when they really start to take control and they have looked like the better team here. Sadzine. Like you mentioned, Mike, him activating could be the difference maker, and he just has over the last 2 rounds. Cryptic can't get. Oh, he does get him. Excuse me. Lux gone. Dumao can't get the trade either, and Clasia finds Lato. Okay. Nouns finally cracked through it in a very big way. A 5v2 in their favor, and Sadzine doesn't even have a site. A site is going to have to be retaken with both players at CT.
Not going to happen. Not going to start. It's all on to Sadzine. Time to be the hero. Requires the ace. And just not even really getting stuck into it. Time alone makes this a near impossibility. And peeping will gatekeep him from getting back in. So they start with 5. They end with 1. The end result is 6-all as we head to the break. Even at the half split, too close to call between these two teams. And for Nouns, they're fighting for tournament life here, trying to take us to a third map, trying to get us to Nuke. Legacy, meanwhile, have their eyes on the prize. And this T side might just light the way through.
Love that smoke.
It's a great placement.
Yep. Perfect, in fact.
She was looking at it thinking, dang, I got to check that lineup later. Catwalk has been gained. It'll be peeping to receive them. Momo out towards long. Junior, the closest reinforcement here, holding down mid. But as that smoke fades now, he gets a little spot into Sudson, who's got all the utility. I say all. Dumas had a smoke. And Dumas somehow has not been tagged once by Junior on that approach. They're going to drop on down in towards CT. This is a little unorthodox. Peeping, though. He's keeping it very traditional. Headshots galore. Now Momo strikes down one towards long. And the defense is holding up darn well. No bomb plant. Dumas opting for the fight instead. It's peeping to walk away with 3 swift kills.
That was a little unnecessary for Legacy to dedicate 2 players to that fight onto Junior. They really got locked into that one. And it cost them because Peeping just waits and delivers a couple of frags. And after that, Legacy just cannot recover and regain the space into the A side. Not only do they not get a chance at winning the round, but they also don't get the bomb plant either. 3 Tech 9s, a Deagle, and a P250. It was really good up to that point. But just that one mistake cost them the round. Nouns punishing effectively. And now they're going to have 4 MP9s and the A1S. They're trying to farm that SMG money. $600 per SMG frag, and there is one from Cryptic. Trade on to Junior, though, from Nissim. Instead, it's a 4v4. A nice Deagle shot, and that also opens up a decent amount of space.
Sudson with this P250. He's got the bomb.
Bomb.
Momo doesn't want to face. I'm amazed that Sudson is trying to push into this. I mean, look, it's a low percentage round. If he could get a kill here, that would be massive for sure. But that was a huge risk.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, I think if Momo watches this one back, he might be looking at that moment thinking, ooh, really should have swung.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think that Momo should have been tempted to go for that one, given the situation, once he spotted the bomb on the radar. Anyway, Peeping gets fragged afterwards. Okay, good trades coming through. That's a gun on the ground, too, and an M4 at that.
Now they want to split B. I mean, they got the right idea. Cryptic through the smoke, comes on in. Dumas ready for the second. And it all falls to Classy, and his position now revealed. It's a 1v1, but Dumas is gone. Does that smoke hold?
He spotted him above it.
Don't know if he has, but he has the right idea. And Dumas slips away before vision returns for Classia. Palm down. An MP9 off. Tools on deck. Classia doesn't want to get caught in transition here, but he's going to have to make the move. He's got the kit. Was he seen slipping in the elevator? Yes, he was. Dumas ready. And the clutch concludes a brilliant 4K round here for Dumas.
Wow. That means that only one of the 4 pistol rounds was converted after each team got them. Wow, that's actually crazy, because the force buy works there for Legacy, of course. And that's a force buy without a bomb plant, which we've been seeing a lot more lately, teams leaning into that. just because it has been leading to some success, as we saw here. Now, of course, using the MP9 picked up off the ground to do most of the damage, but still. Legacy tied up at 7. And Nouns are going to try for a force of their own, hoping for similar success. Cryptic is already at the mid position on Cat, but does fall off of it, at least momentarily.
On that smoke fade, Momo instantly deleted. And now this is going from bad to worse for Nouns. They're so spread out at this point, desperately hoping someone's going to be able to pull off a multi-kill. Cryptic, the next piece to go. Plucked out towards the long doors. And now this is just cold desperation. Junior at close range with a scout. Trying to catch somebody, hopping up the boxes on towards Cat. At least they're playing together now. Glacier on this smoke fade, but there's 3 crosshairs to the 2 of Nouns. Glacier reducing that number, but the trade is there. It all falls to Junior, and his position now revealed. It's only a matter of time before Nissim comes through the doors, and there it is.
All right, well, Force by Wars ended just as quickly as they start. And Legacy now have a chance to extend the lead to 2. You see there, Lato waiting out the smoke, thinking it's suspicious, and he rightfully gets that frag due to his patience. All right. 4 USPs and the P250 on the Noun side. A flashbang for Cryptic, but it's not a great buy-up, so they're going to have to get aggressive with it or try some cheeky stack. It looks like aggression will be the call here, Mike, as Dumao could farm some frags. Let's see what happens. There's one. Only one. Okay. Upgrade, maybe? Lux? We'll get one after Junior makes it interesting, and it's no longer interesting thanks to Lux's taps and precision headshot.
No, that's always good. When things are getting chaotic, when pistols are getting thrown at you, just crouch down behind the boxes.
Yeah.
Tap a few players out. Lux is having a nice map. Fair credit on. Even before those 3 eco kills. 15 and 8 now. We'll get the buyout for Nouns here, presumably.
Yeah, of course.
AUG for Junior, so no AUG.
Oh, AUG on Junior. Usually it's Cryptic rocking the AUG.
Well, man wanted a scope, but he couldn't quite afford the big one.
Yeah.
Legacy are definitely expecting something here. They're holding very far back. Tunnels control. Haven't taken Longhouse. Haven't really pressed anything towards Cat or mid. Waiting to see what Nouns are going to throw at them.
Peeping. Oh, nice nade from Junior.
It's a massive one. Flashbang to get him in as well. Peeping now close up, able to collect on another. And the smoke means they cannot dare go through. So Peeping has locked down Cat, closed for business. And instead they're going to test Junior at mid. Well, that might not be much access either.
No, he's here now, but it doesn't matter because the crossfire's in place. And yeah, Sadzine last one and no longer. Not a step further out of mid could Legacy take in that round, as Junior and the rest of Noun shut them down completely. Not a single casualty for them. And the lead has been cut to 1. Another timeout going to be called here by Legacy. They still have a buy-up left, but they need to talk things over because that last round, they just were at a standstill for too long. Like you mentioned, Mike, it felt like they were waiting for something, for some aggression to come through. But when it doesn't, it didn't feel like they were very coordinated in trying to actually go for their proper execute. Got stumbled towards Cat and then tried to go into mid. Nothing worked. Timeout expires. Buy-up will be a little hampered on the legacy side by Galil, but I wouldn't consider that too big of a concern.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But also, Nissim has $800 extra.
Yeah, that's curious. That's enough for an AK, is it not?
Well, if you bought one fewer flashbang.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's chosen not to. He's chosen to commit in. Some guys just like a Galil, you know?
I
They're
guess.
weird, but some guys like a Galil. Momo talked, now reveals himself to the tune of a couple of kills coming through. This B defense has held. 2 players watching in from mid, more than enough, and Lux section off in the bomb, might even just save, but it's a minute to do so. Can't really imagine he's going to attempt that.
Well, when all else fails, rush B with flashes and die. Fail again. That's unfortunate for Legacy. I get the idea, but they just didn't anticipate the player tucked into Cubby there. And damage is done. Afterwards, the players activate from mid as well, and it is all Nouns once more. Only 1 casualty over the last 2 rounds. Maybe Lux gets one on the tail end here, but I don't think that Nouns are hungry for a hunt anyway. So this is it. 9-8 in favor of Legacy now, but it will be 9-9 after those 30 seconds expire. And the money situation will be getting better for Legacy because it's going to hit full loss bonus soon, but right now it's not quite there. I doubt they'd buy up around this AK, Mike. Two shutdown rounds for Nouns in a row is certainly going to bolster their confidence.
Yeah, I mean, they're right back into the thick of things here.
Yeah.
Starting to build a little bit of a wave here for Legacy, but us two could be a fickle mistress. Oh, Lux is exhaling right now. Not getting clocked after that one. Ironically, actually, that 1 kill does make this a lot more viable as a full save. But just buy nothing else in. Have a pretty decent Mac 10 buy at a minimum. There are worse things for a T side. Mounting loss bonus, 1,200 in the bank. What can they do with the hero rifle? No more money invested in. What can you create for your team here, Lux? Nice boost up to peer in towards Catwalk. No one's there, but I like the idea. How do you maximize 1 rifle? Give him a guy whose shoulders he can stand on. You just hear the comms right now. It's like, all right, I'm going to jump across and bait for you. Okay, swing. Oh, no one there. Okay, all right. Get on my shoulders. And, oh, okay, no one's there. Hold on, I'll jump this corner. And, okay, no one's there. We'll drop down into CT. Path. You kill the car guy, I guess.
Here's boost. Another one.
Oi! Oh, wasn't on the angle yet, but it is going to miss.
Interesting.
Hold on. They're gaining some purchase. They're gaining some space. They get the bomb over. That's a plant at the very least. Already very successful considering what was brought in here. One more HE?
Yeah.
One more HE!
No.
There's still another one on Momo that can come over. That's all the way at it long. But they are going to get this planted. Question is, what can you do, Lux, now in defense? Nope. Not at all. AK's dropped down as well, so that's not even recoverable. No, never mind. Dumao's got his hands on it, but he's got 1 HP. So he will not last much longer. Making this messy. I'll give him that. Nissim going to the knife out of bullets. Who's always going to be a Nouns recovery, but a bomb plant and a couple of kills, that's not bad for Legacy.
No, not too shabby at all. Felt like it could have been more. Look at the health. Classy on 9, Momo on 8 HP. 1 more bullet from either of those pistols that were firing down at them, and we have an entirely different round. That one got closer than it seemed in terms of the remaining manpower. But Nouns do take the lead, 10-9. They've got it back in their hands. On the other side, Legacy, because of that bomb plant, they do have enough money to get 4 AKs and almost full util for everyone. The only one who's really short is Nissim. They send 2 players into the upper tunnels. 3 are right outside of long, but this is some aggressive utility thrown by Nouns. A deep smoke indicates to Legacy that there's someone up close. Cryptic is that someone. Now Legacy are defaulting. They're just waiting for pushes to come through. Two players committed long for Nouns leaves a potential gap at Cat.
There's a peeping here.
Yeah.
And he's got an op. He's peeping through that scope. Let's see what he can find. Eyes on. Nade pop. Could be well timed. Oh, doesn't quite disperse the whole smoke. That's very fortunate for Lux. Counting his lucky stars right now, but these pit players, they're going to activate. There's still Cryptic here. They don't know about Cryptic. Momo was a little bit of a ruse.
There's no way they don't even clear it.
Trigger discipline. Trigger discipline. That's the bomb. Drop down. Can't quite find the third. But good damage done from Cryptic. Leaves it all on to Lato. He can retrieve the C4, but 20 seconds. He's got to go forward. Or more likely, he's got to save.
That is, I want to say, a lack of discipline for Legacy. I know, obviously, who would have expected 2 players to be in pit? It's not an orthodox play, but at the same time, just have a look. Just clear your corners as you always would. Instead, 3 players walk right on by, none the wiser that Cryptic is lurking in the shadows, and when he strikes, there's no time to calm. 1 goes down, a second, and finally the reaction is there, but it's all too late. Look at this. You have a millisecond to say something, and it's just not enough time. Timeout going to be called by Legacy. Nouns on the precipice of taking this second map and pushing us to a third.
Should they push all the chips in? Oh, it's got to be so tempting. They're being disciplined, though.
Yeah, I think they still have a good chance, Mike, even if they go for that half buy, because they got the full loss bonus. They can invest a little bit more heavily while still not sacrificing that last round should they lose here.
I think I would have liked to force, to be honest. Your loss bonus is built up enough. You could even get 2 good forces, especially if you got a bomb plant. But let's see. They're going half in, half out. Can they get it done with these pistols? Not even armor on Sutsun. It's going to be a cat explode. We've seen these before. It's peeping his first contact with that AWP. Ooh, misses the aerial shot, but Momo can collect and adjust for 1 more. Now peeping gets activated. And the exchange is working out very nicely indeed. D shot lands, but Sutsun now has 3 targets to find. He takes out the first. But a player's already slipped towards ramp, and I don't think Sutsun realizes it. By that same token, Cryptic doesn't check. So Sutsun slips away. Junior's aware, though. Junior's posted. And Junior is going to end it right here and now. Map point found for Nouns. It's Nuke on deck, unless Legacy has something real special.
Well, they did make sure their economy was healthy for this situation, so here we go. We'll see if it paid off. 3 rounds in a row required from Legacy to push to overtime and have another crack at getting a 2-0 win in this series. But it feels like Nouns have got that momentum in their hands. They won the critical rounds. They call a timeout here just to settle things down. Things are starting to lean their way. Clasia with a big performance here on Dust 2. 18 frags. We go back to that 1 round where he had 4 frags on the T side going in that window. Actually, it might have been on, was it T side? Yeah, I think it was T side. When he was in window room, got the 4K. Even though it was just an eco for Legacy, it felt like it was falling apart. And I think that was a critical one for him to bring back for his squad. After that, losing 5 rounds in a row. I think it was actually 6 in a row in favor of Legacy before Nouns get the answer. They've been resilient time and time again, even on map number 1. They lost it, but they were in it. They had that chance. Now they've got another chance, an even bigger one, to extend this series and their lives here in ESL Challenger League Season 49.
See if they can stretch it on to a third. Legacy got to be frustrated. They were in the driver's seat at one point.
Yeah.
In this half of play. And since then, it has been all Nouns all the way. Good trade there for Momo. Flashbang doesn't take the right bounce. But it's Catwalk that they will claim instead. Some of the spam is starting to feel a little desperate.
Yeah. Legacy are frozen in place at mid. Finally, Dumao makes a move and says, okay, let's try Cat. Let's see what we can find here. There is Cryptic watching with the AK. Dumao has a smoke. In fact, Util's extremely light here, Mike. 2 smokes and 2 flashes. That's it. Time is of the essence for Legacy. 39 seconds left. They're still stalled out at mid.
Got to make a choice. Bomb still top mid as well. If that gets dropped at this point, they're going to have to waste so much time going back to retrieve it. He's getting very nervous. Dumao down. This was trying to be a split in towards B, and now there is no split. It's just the B. Junior. If he can drop that bomb, it's over. And he's just done exactly that.
That's it.
Round is over. They don't have time to get this thing planted. Nouns are taking us through to Nuke. Time expires on that clock, and Nuke is up to bat. Nouns have done it.
Wow, that's just great work from Cryptic, Peeping, Classia, Junior. I think pretty much everyone, even Momo had his moments. They all came through at key times. I really want to give Classia the biggest props, though, because he was that Dust 2 player we expected to see in terms of his performances. Cryptic right behind him. Key frags coming through. And I think if you want to talk about impact frags, Junior as well with the AWP. Always there to either close the door, especially on that CT side, or find opening frags for his squad. It was really something else from Nouns, not what we expect. I mean, we did expect a good performance on Dust 2, but the fact of the matter is it's a roster that's still kind of, I don't want to say still in flux, but it's not their permanent roster anymore, and they're still finding ways to get victories and push a map number 3. It would be something else to me if they come out with a victory on Nuke and get into that grand final.
It'd be truly astonishing. It really would, but they'll have the opportunity to do so when we come back from this break. It all ends on Nuke. Nouns or Legacy, one of these teams will have a matchup against NRG tomorrow with a spot on Pro League on the line. But first, they have to get through each other. They have to get through a map of Nuke. John, what should we expect here?
Ooh, some fireworks for sure. I mean, you're looking over at Nouns. They've got a 6-game win streak here on the map, and it's not against any slouches of competition and at that either. I mean, you look at the wins against NRG, Blue Jays, Getting Info, Marsborn, Party Astronauts, Vagrants. The one loss, or I should say one of the losses they've had over their last 3 months is against Legacy, though. That's the last time they faced off against each other here. It was 7-13. I feel like it's going to be a lot closer than that. I think we could even see a Nouns victory here, even though Legacy are good on the map as well. 10-4 over the last 3 months. 3 of the last 4 maps played here are wins. The only loss was to Marsborn. The wins are against Red Canids, Audic, and Supernova Comets, but I think Red Canids and Audic are the ones that are more notable. They were dominant wins too, so it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you that right now, especially with how much is on the line.
Yeah, I mean, a ton, right? The opportunity to go into that final, that's a substantial amount of money when we consider the VRS points as well, the difference between second and third place. But more importantly, that spot at the Pro League, right? That chance to take NRG to the limit to see if you can't push on in for either of these teams. For Legacy, the chance to bring this squad with their new IGL and take it against the best the world has to offer. For Nouns, the team that won't be Nouns. They'll be unsigned, and having that Pro League spot, it won't just give them the chance to compete. It will create something that's very alluring and enticing to potentially bring in future investment. If you have a spot at an event, it could be a world of difference when trying to find org support.
It's going to be very difficult to get there, but what we've seen from Nouns is just that never say die attitude, which I always appreciate, and that they'll need a lot of it, let's say, especially if they get up against NRG in that grand final. Legacy want the same thing, of course. They want to get that Pro League spot. Disappointment, not getting the major. There's a lot on the line for both teams, and pressure will be high on both sides. I don't think either one is going to be comfortable coming into this third map, and they shouldn't be. It's been a very tight series.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, Legacy are a little disappointed with how they fizzled out in the second half of Mirage. You know, they had a moment where they lose the pistol, they win the 3 rounds after that, and then guns come back out and Nouns just close. And so I think if you're Legacy, you're looking at that thinking we probably should have given them a little bit more of a contest. But time to forget about that. Time to just focus in on Nuke. And perhaps with that momentum coming in, if Nouns are really feeling themselves here, having had a more comfortable Dust 2 win, maybe they can build that momentum and take it all the way.
Whew, that would be something.
Got a knife round strat on Nuke?
Nope.
I don't think anyone does.
Go kill. That's the knife round strat.
Oh, we get a flank. Hold on.
That's not very, not the usual thing to see.
Not sporting. Whoa. Ooh. Ah. All's fair in love and Counter-Strike. Ah.
What?
1v1.
Oh!
Sides in, clutches it up. Clutched it up. Knife round goat there. Hasn't really been having the strongest of performances by his own standards, and by the standards of being the Alper and the team across 2 maps. But the knife round, he's got them.
Yeah, of course, knife round. That was good movement. I mean, it takes a little bit of skill to honestly pull that off, so credit to him. That said, it felt like he was waking up, right? At the tail end of the first half, or actually in the middle of the second half even as well for Sadzine. It felt like something was happening for him, and then he fizzled out too with the rest of his squad. Couldn't continue having that impact. So now's the last chance.
It is indeed. They need their heavy hitters. Dumal also having a little bit of a missing map on Dust 2. It's not something that Legacy can really countenance. Heavy presence outside here for now, so they'll start on T. Courtesy of Sadzine's clutch up. Seems like they want to try and wrap outside. There's heavy presence here. They're ready to defend. Lux finds one, a second as well. Sadzine is gone. So as woes will continue for the moment, but with the work that Lux has done, it's still advantage Legacy. And now Nissim comes right back in. That's bomb confirmed outside. Down on the asphalt. Who's going to be the hero here? Junior might just get flanked. I mean, at some point, Nissim's going to look around and realize, oh, he was right next to me the whole time.
1-0 for Legacy, who get the pistol rounds. It's been kind of back and forth on pistol rounds for both these squads, honestly.
Well, no, I don't think so, actually. 4 of 5 now. For Legacy now. They've just lost a lot of second round forces.
Did they not? I thought Nouns won the second half pistol in.
Oh, you're right. And then they won a force buy of their own. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
My brain is putty. We've cast a lot of Counter-Strike this week, John.
Yes, we have, honestly, and I totally understand, Mike. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Legacy do come back and get that pistol round, and now let's see if Nouns can win another force buy. But they won't force buy, so they can't win another force buy if they don't do it.
That is true. It is challenging. Although if they win it with the Deagle and Glocks, that'll be all that much more impressive.
Indeed.
Somehow seems unlikely.
One thing for Legacy, as they're just going to mop up here, is that they have much more of a heavy CT lean than Nouns do. So they win 66.7% of their CT rounds, and overall distribution of one round 62.7. So pretty much the same in that territories. What Nouns need to do right now is get those T rounds on the board. If they want to find victory here, if they can slow Legacy down, maybe get 4 or 5 rounds here on their T side, anything more would be fantastic. Then they set themselves up well in that second half because they're far more balanced on this map. 54.7% of their CT rounds won and 51.1% of their T rounds. So that's the key, I would say, here. If Legacy gets off to too strong a start on their CT side, it could be curtains for Nouns.
Yeah, it's curtains for you, Nouns.
Say?
You mess with the wrong team here. They're going to tie them to the train tracks? I don't think there's train tracks on here.
Maybe in the distance somewhere.
Throw them in the canal. Nice opener for Lux. Got that from out here in the garage, so he's looking for this extra fight on the red box player. I ain't talking no DVDs. Whoa. 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 All good.
Yep, didn't matter.
It's actually just a ruse to keep him concentrated on secret longer. 10,000 IQ. This is looking like a complete non-starter for Nouns. They're just struggling to get out any sort of control. Outside seemed to be the main view, and now they're being trapped in towards Squeaky. Superior utility is damaging them up. Momo is low. Classia about half. And Classia, now the solo dolo player remaining. Doesn't have the bomb. Being peppered down. He's get a reload off, but only a bit as Lux comes in to finish.
I think the biggest problem for Nouns right now is no bomb plants in 3 rounds.
It's not helpful.
No, it's hurting their economy, and you can see it. 2.9K, 3.3K, just hovering around the 3K mark across the board, and they will be able to invest a little more heavily here because they have the full loss bonus to back off on. They need bomb plants, and not to mention rounds as well if they want to get into this. It's going to be Tech 9s for everyone, a little bit of util to work with. I would expect a pacier play here, Mike. Maybe into ramp.
Maybe. Player in towards secret. They've got that at the very least. Cryptic taking the space. Now they want to go for this ramp explode to link up with that player who's already snuck down towards lower. But a timely smoke is not going to get tested. They've got no nade to pop this. So they will wait. And Cryptic's waiting as well. Hasn't advanced forward. It's Nissim who'd be holding for him if he did.
Nouns taking their time. They have one flash left. Junior's hands. They're going to throw it now. Sadzine, full visibility. That flash didn't do anything, but he goes down. Trade comes through. A chance here, and Cryptic connects on Deluxe. 4v3 just like that. 2 AKs recovered. Miss him. Waiting on that B site. Death strike from default, but Classy and Cryptic get 2 more, Mike. It's working for Nouns. Lato, the last one standing.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. Nissim was the insurance policy, right? He was the unexpected factor. They didn't realize because of the fight they got in towards ramp, because of the kill on the player dropping vent. He had a chance, had a window, but the trade was instant. I think it was Classy who snapped over and dealt with him. So it's going to be a save for Lato. Backing away. What a way for Nouns to get on the board. The Tech 9s are enough. Pressure
Wild.
on for Legacy in a big way now.
Yeah, that's huge. Huge round victory. The economy was being built up for this round here. You see, just the armor and the Tech 9s. That's all they needed to come out with victory. And they got upgrades off the ground as well. That is very well executed from Nouns. Good patience, waiting for the time to really explode out into ramp. And when they did, they made no mistake of it. Legacy, timeout going to be called here. This seems to be a technical timeout. But an AUG, an AK, 2 M4s, and the AWP for Legacy.
Time expiring here in freeze time. Time to get on it. Time to get in it. Need to see it from Sudson. Obviously, it's early days. He hasn't been a liability here, but I'm just waiting to see him take the round by the balls. I'm waiting to see him assert himself on that scope and really dominate a position, dominate some sight lines, put the fear into them. Just haven't had that feeling from his AWP much, if at all, in this series. He's up in heaven this time. Dumao, who's tagged up. But Sad's in just responsibility for watching outside, trying to peer over those smokes. Check on the pop from Lux here and see if he can't catch anyone sleeping into secret. Won't be able to stop the first. TP's got it now. Gotta re-smoke up on this wall, as they're gonna cross 2 more. Does manage to collect. Junior's out. But they lose a ramp. Sadzin's got to adjust. Now he's Molotov. Has to back away. Trying to smoke it. Trying to swing with the USP.
But why?
That was bold. Bomb could get caught here. But Cryptic's got the kill that he needed. Lux was trying to chase that down, knowing that if he dropped the C4, there wasn't much that they could do. As it is, Lato's thinking, I might just need to bail out of this one. And Lato and Dumao, I don't think they're going to have much of an appetite for it.
No, they can't. I'm still unsure of the decision by Sadzine to push through that smoke with the pistol.
I think he's feeling some pressure, knowing
I
that he
believe
hasn't
so.
had great maps so far.
I mean, he feels like he's just feeling that pressure. Forcing yourself to make plays like that won't help anyone. Honestly, it's just throwing your body away because you feel like you have to make something happen. Anyway. Second round found for Nouns. Was trending kind of well for Legacy. Obviously, Sadzine gets the opener, but then he gets overzealous, as we just talked about. And the rest of Legacy can't really recover afterwards. They save a couple of guns, which will help them into this round. Both of them AKs, which is good. A timeout going to be called by Nouns to talk things over because they're feeling things start to trend in their direction. They don't want to make a mistake here. They don't want to stumble when there's a chance to tie things up and maybe get even more on their T side. And as I mentioned before, this T side critical for Nouns. If they come out with a winning half on T side, that could be more than enough, perhaps, for them to find victory because their CT side is very good and the T side over on Legacy leaves a lot to be desired.
What do we got here? 5-7s. Deeg. Couple AKs saved through from last. There's a bit of skin in the game for these players. Loss bonus hasn't fully built just yet. So there will be limitations in the buy in the next. Sadzine in particular presumably going to be onto a scout. Or I suppose Lato could drop the up.
Oh, what
That's
a ripper of a shot.
Excellent opener from Cryptic. Peeling a player off the credit card box, and now a follow-up as well as Lux tries to retake some of that ground. They are losing bodies thick and fast outside. Molotov to tickle Sadzine. They're dropping on down. Momo knows. Momo's ready, but Dumao can bring that one remaining rifle to bear. It is now all that they've got, but Nissim at least has been able to pick it up. Trying to make this expensive, if nothing else. And the if nothing else is definitely going to come into effect because his peeping peers around. He's got the kill. He's got the round.
Wow. So well done from Nouns there. Yes, it's a more limited round from Legacy, right? With a couple of saved rifles and no one else really investing into it, but still, what a shot from Cryptic to open up the round, and they continue to push forward. They press in, Util is on point, Molotov at credit card, clears out the player, leaves Sadzine with very few angles to hold from, because he knows if he goes too far, he'll be exposed, and it doesn't matter anyway, because Nouns were looking for him in that position. So, we are tied up at 3. Legacy, now with a full buy again, a chance to strike back here. That's the response Nouns absolutely needed. Lato, spamming through the spamming through the vent. And once more Nouns, they want to go for that yard control. It's been successful for them so far. Smoke pop is in, but that doesn't yield any information for Legacy. Oof, nice shot from Sadzine.
Need some more of those. He's able to fall away. No one chases him down this time. So he's able to post up, find a new angle. Lux makes a hash of it in the garage, but Lato's there for the trade. That's a massive find for Klassia. Perfect timing to put the pressure on towards A. And now Legacy, you gotta choose. There's so much mobility afforded to these Nouns players right now. You only really know where Klassia is at this point in time. They've got so much outer control. They could take it in towards A. They could take it down secret. They could be wrapping heaven. They could wrap hell into ramp. Draw your battle lines. And it's going to be Lato, who's very isolated here on towards A as they move out. Mini. Klassia gets the trade. It's at the cost of a lot of health, though. Nissim in heaven could rain down fire upon them. Junior plant safe.
Klassia is watching heaven right now, so I feel like he's got that on lock, and he also knows that Sadzine's in the vent. So, yeah, all the information they could hope for.
I was wondering if Junior was going to try and go for the full wrap. He's not, but now he spotted the player in towards heaven. Slides outside. This is such a risk. Anticipates the player coming up the vent. There's no health to spare, but Nissim, does he have the time? No kit.
I think he has time, Mike.
Enough. Op retrieved. He's going to get this defuse. He's going to clutch up this round.
Wow, that looked so good from Nouns. I love the swing from Junior. Even though it exposes him, he gets that frag on the Opera that's trying to get into the vents. And for all intents and purposes, the trade was there. It's just Nissim a little bit stronger in the duel, and Klassia was a little low from his previous engagement with Lato right here in Hut, down to 12 HP, and that honestly was a difference maker at the end of it. Great work from Nissim from heaven. And he gets Legacy back on the board here and prevents Nouns from taking a lead. That said, it was at the cost of a ton of economy for Legacy, and you see the result of that here. An MP9 of Hamas in the mix. They do have the 2 M4s in the op as well, but Junior tries to collect one, misses the shot, takes damage from the Molotov, and now a nade gets him down to 45. He has to escape the bullets, and Momo helps him out by fragging Lux. Great opener from Nouns here, and Dumao continues to take a little bit of damage, but he's not too worse for wear. Cryptic spamming through, trying to do more, and it will be Sadzine who takes a bullet to the shoulder. Dumao and Cryptic, Dumao and Cryptic, Dumao!
Oh, boy.
Oh, Cryptic thought, I think he had an inkling that someone was there, but couldn't react quickly enough.
It's almost one of those where somebody sees a blip pop up on the minimap. And you just start flicking wildly in panic. But his spidey sense didn't tingle quick enough. Where do they take this? They've got lobby control, no more presence outside. 4-on-4 here. Seems like we might be getting an upper bust. Classy setting up the util up top. Holding to see if anyone wants to give a look in towards lobby right now, but it's not coming. So they're going to have to make their move. They throw a smoke wall outside to hold attention. And with the Molotovs, with the flashes, here we go. Here's that upper bust. Nissim can shut this down right off the rip. He's only going to get the one. But the one is still something. Sets up Lotto for the swing, and Lotto holds the line.
What a beautiful sequence from Lotto. The transfers, everything, hitting all the shots he has to, under pressure from Nouns, but delivers at every single turn and extends the lead back to 2 now for Legacy. And this engagement, a little rough for Cryptic because he lost track of Dumao, who comes through the smoke. And, I mean, doesn't get prettier than that. On the A hold for Lotto from the squeaky position, or I should say second vent position. Either way, Nouns will have a bye. Peeping settling for the Tech 9, who has been very quiet so far here on Nuke. Like to see more come through from him. I don't know if it'll happen in this round with just the pistol, but hey, you never know. While the smoke's thrown a little deeper, Peeping's already into secret. He's going to hunt for information. Only one player's here, and that is Lux. Not sure if he's heard anything yet. Now he's seen Peeping, so they're going to engage, but Peeping with that smoke thrown might just back off.
Nice trade. Keep in control here in towards the ramp. Sadzin going to be tested again, and they're going to drop util to make him uncomfortable. This time it's not a Molotov at his feet, because there's not one available. He still led them down. Playing a tight angle. Didn't pop off a shot, and that means they've gained purchase towards lower. Sadzin's gone back to look out outside, so he does not have an idea that these players are so close. That's a problem for the lower site defenders. They're going to be quite cranky for Sadzin, I'd imagine. Bomb down. And the Op's got a foot out the door. It's a save for Legacy. The gap will close to 1 here, John.
Wow. I mean, just the fact that they're able to get that close without being spotted out really is impressive on the Nouns side. And an oversight for Legacy. Both players just caught off guard, and Nouns are happy to deliver a 4th round here with 4 players left standing. I think they might hunt a little bit just to look around, because certainly getting Sadzin's op out of here would be helpful, but at the end of it, they decide to play the cautious game, as I also understand. They want to keep things under control and make sure these guns get carried through. 4-5. Nouns hanging in there. Now the timeout for Legacy. Seen both teams bounce back and forth calling these timeouts. Chucky probably in the airs here for Legacy.
So more of a Chucky from Rugrats or Chucky the murder doll in their ears, do you think?
Chucky from Rugrats?
Depends on how mad he is.
Yeah,
how many mistakes they're making.
so.
With some of the mistakes they've had, it might be more like the murder doll right now.
Maybe in between. The balance.
Don't want to get him mad. You know what I want?
What do you
I
want?
want an ego peak hut with the op.
What?
We're not going to get it.
That's... Yeah. I don't think you can get an ego peak when you're struggling like this.
Sure you can. You say, you know what? Screw this. I'm better than them. You swing hut, you do the post up, early peek in towards lobby. I guarantee Junior's going to do it when the half switches.
Oh, I believe it, because Junior's been playing pretty well.
But Junior would do it if he was 1-9.
Perhaps.
You're an opper. You have to be a little Delulu.
Well,
No, Lato's
no!
DC'd. He would have had him dead to rights. Peeping is thinking, what the hell? I must be blessed. Where's my guardian angel right now? And he was the only upper defender.
No way. There was no damage done yet, though, so can they call not live?
Peeping took a tick in the Molotov. There was
Oh,
damage
did
done.
He did. You're
Peeping's
right.
down to
I didn't even
94.
notice
There was
that.
damage done.
Oh, my goodness. So unfortunate for Legacy.
I think Legacy's in a team house as well, which would make sense because they've had 2 players drop.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
What a time, Mike. What a time for that to happen.
That's brutal. I mean, there's a slim chance they managed to call the not live before that tick hit, but
Yeah.
would have had to be pretty quick on it.
No, I don't. I think we would have already been out of this round if that was the case. It wouldn't
That's
have played
brutal.
out.
He had the crosshair. I mean, we're like, why isn't he shooting? Why is it? Oh,
exactly.
no.
He's not there.
Crosshair was in the perfect place
man.
for Peeping's play. That is agonizing for Legacy. If that's what winds up costing them their chance at the ESL Pro League, oof. But you got to roll with the punches.
Yeah. And upgrade your fiber.
And upgrade your fiber.
Get a better line in there. Well, Junior gets the opener onto Lux. Yeah, it's a gift for Nouns, no question. That round would have trended Legacy if Dumas was still there to fight. Unreal. There's a smoke and a nade that get exchanged there. Not much for Legacy into this round aside from the AWP for Sadzine. Lato. Oh, grabs the FAMAS off the ground. That Lux drop, but it won't last long. Peeping takes care of that with a headshot, and it's a 5v3 for Nouns.
Maybe wishing he did DC that time. For an extra excuse. I mean, look, if they can continue this in, take the lead into the second half, it's real trouble for Legacy.
It really is. This is exactly what Nouns had to do. I don't think it came the way they expected with that
Hey, you
previous
take
round,
it by
but
hook or
still.
by crook, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Desperation for Nissim. Dumas didn't have a lot to lose. It's all about the AWP if they're going to save, but this bomb's going to be down inside Zin. Time to find out how good he is at hide and seek. Because the hunt is on. Oh, no. Okay.
Ends.
That's a team ace coming through. He's all right at hide and seek, but he's not so good at no scope tag.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate there for Legacy. Great work from Nouns. And Sadzine not being able to save the op means they won't have an op into this last round of play, which, I don't know, may be a blessing, honestly, because Sadzine unfortunately hasn't been able to connect with much on this half. Only 4 frags. And I'm not even sure that... I think all of those were even with the op. Peeping. Moving out. Dodges the nade. No problems there. There's that deep wall of smokes that Nouns have been employing for pretty much every single round. More of the standard now. Lato and Lux regrouping towards the safe side. Lato's going to push the smoke. Is he really? Okay, Lux gets one. Maybe just wants to wait within it. Lux is there with him now. Yep, there's the trade, so that's pretty good. As long as Lato gets away, Mike.
Kind of love this. I mean, Lato's in trouble now. Oh, the Molotov forces them forward, so they overstayed their welcome. And it all falls to Nissim, and Nissim is gone out of there. So a 2-round lead for Nouns as we swap sides. Nouns, the carpet is laid out. They just have to walk the path into that grand final. We'll be right back. One more half stands between one of these teams and the grand final here in the ESL Challenger League. A matchup against NRG, but just a few more rounds of Counter-Strike between now and then. Legacy losing control down the stretch of that first half. The Stars getting quieted here, John. It's concerning from our perspective. How are you feeling for them?
Concerns as well. I mean, look, being down 7-5, not getting that strong CT side they rely on for victory on this map raises a ton of issues for them going on to their T side, which has not been nearly as strong. Only 37.2% of their won rounds are on T side. Yeah, Nouns did exactly what they needed to. And now they go over to their stronger side.
Yeah, it felt very good for Nouns. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of control given to them outside consistently. Again, just not necessarily respecting the op, to be quite frank. A lot of times when they know that he's on an angle, they're either using utility to just push him off or frankly peeking in. It's nice showings. Seems like we've got a little bit of a tech.
We do.
Unfortunately, I think, folks, we weren't ready to come back out of this half. If I had to guess, we're going to take a little break here. And we're going to come back when we're actually good and ready. Stick with us here, folks. We're back in. This time for real, folks. No tomfoolery. No shenanigans. At least not yet. The shenanigans might come in the form of the two sets of dualies that are purchased up here. Classia locking down the ramp. Peeping, playing on top of the hut. Classic dualie spot. But it's heavy outside presence, breaking the ankles there for Lux, but they've overlooked Cryptic, and Cryptic will show why they should never do that.
Yeah, completely overlooked the credit card position here, and now they only have two players left standing, Sadzine and Nissim. Sadzine's trying to challenge and does manage to get a trade back on Cryptic, but they've still got their work cut out for them, and now even more so with only Sadzine left standing and no longer Junior with two, Cryptic as well, and Nouns win the pistol to kick off this second half.
Look, there's a reason, John, that there's all these websites and services that are about monitoring your credit, because you got to keep an eye on that spot.
Oh, goodness me.
If the numbers are red, it's a good thing, right?
No, that's Mike, that's the bad thing. You want it to be green. I'm concerned for you now. Are you okay?
Interesting. Tech9s can find a little bit of action, a little bit of gumption. We've seen that before in this series, though it's mostly come from the Nouns camp, to be quite frank. It feels like outside of Lato, they've struggled to find the spark on this particular map. Junior gonna find first blood.
Oh, that's good.
But not second blood. Third blood
What?
and fourth blood go to Momo and Classia. But what about fifth blood? Actually, it would be sixth blood at this point. Seventh blood? This would be seventh blood. Counting is hard.
We got the math, Mike.
Seventh blood. Dumao seeks it. The bomb cannot be planted because it's in the grasps of the CTs. They control the precious parcel. So Dumao gotta do some shooting if he's gonna get through this one.
Doesn't feel like the path towards the bomb at all.
Just gotta wait the smoke. So he's like, maybe someone's just standing in the middle of A and I get a freebie. Who knows? Might as well check. Maximize time. It's efficiency here, John.
Okay.
Dumao doesn't have time to waste. He's got killing to do. Clasia forced down. He will get the one, but out of bullets. Out of bullets. Peeping can trade.
Made it interesting for a second.
We got both 7th and 8th blood, John.
There you go. Just missed 9th and 10th blood. Maybe next time. I just can't believe Clasia survived that long. Someone staring right at him. Oh, goodness, to get that second frag. Nouns on to 9. The 4 spy doesn't work for Legacy. And now pressure mounts immensely because this could be Nouns doubling up on Legacy's scoreline. It'll be a 10-5 lead. And again, they're on CT side, the favorite side of Nuke since it was introduced in the map pool. Momo and Junior combining here on the anti-eco to take care of business. All 4 frags go their way. Dumao the last one. Deagle in hand and Deagle out of hand with Peeping getting that headshot. 10-5, there it is.
There it is indeed. Now, it's not technically your last chance, but it feels like the last chance for Legacy because they are getting swept up in all the momentum for Nouns, and Nouns are rolling right now straight towards this finish.
I mean, the one thing that could benefit Legacy in this particular round is the 3 MP9s still being in play. No op to worry about yet.
Get a lobby crunch?
Yeah, that might be a good call, honestly, for Nouns, just because they don't necessarily have the weaponry to go for extended fights up against those AKs.
Lobby crunch! Well, the ramp player didn't get to crunch so hard. So it's mostly just a heavy hot presence. That's a nice nade. Skipper of a nade right into the shins of Nissim. You can tell Legacy are on notice. They know this is a distinct possibility with the MP9s, but Peeping still gets the kill.
How does he get that?
Oh, boy.
Hit half a second.
That was nasty.
That's some crazy reaction time, Mike.
Man advantage up for Nouns. Legacy, they've got Dumao. They still have Dumao. That's critical because this was their only forward position. Somehow Dumao wasn't tagged at all. Now they've got room. Dumao can put a little fear into these CTs. Wants to come back in from Mini, but he didn't spawn anything. So they're grouping up for this hit. Nice Molly. Junior and Momo both down for the count. It has to be Clasia to be the hero here. The bomb's still circling outside. They had to go back and retrieve it, so that does give Clasia a little bit more time to work with. He's wondering why they haven't planted. But now utility being put on through. There's a player right below. And Clasia actually does collect one more, which is not only $600 into his pocket, but an extra set of weaponry that needs to be reinvested here by Legacy.
Yeah, it's a super expensive round. Not the way Legacy drew it up at all. And it's good to see Nouns compete in a situation where it didn't feel... Oh my gosh, that peak from Peeping, though. Unbelievable. Gave Nouns a real shot at coming out with the bonus round victory. But yeah, as you mentioned, no Clasia punishing. It's another 3 players that need to reinvest into this round. The money is not great for Legacy. On the other side, Clasia gets the MP9. I think someone could have dropped him something better, but I guess he said, you know what, don't worry about it. MP9 is fine. I'm just going to hold a little more aggressively here from Big Box in ramp room. Throws the molly and then the smoke onto it. Some bullets rattle off, but he keeps them at bay. So Legacy for the time being are going to reroute. Peeping, spamming through that smoke in towards Squeaky.
Cryptic's down lower. And they're headed outside. So that's going to be the critical piece. More likely than not, nice shot for Lux. Those outside fights were very tough for them in the first half, so it's a big coup to find Junior to collect. Peeping's able to trade it. And hold on to a little ground here. But Clasia right now is swinging outside. He's got an MP9 reminder. Would love to get to his teammates up. But it would require abandoning his post here and leaving hell and a ramp open. People boosted up into the rafters. You're right, John. Time's getting very short here. If they take it lower, you still have Cryptic. He hasn't been revealed at all.
Like
So they're wrapping outside. We got this fight. Classy it down for the count. But Peeping still up top. Catches one, getting over the coolers. But Lato takes a dink and keeps on thriving. Momo can catch the bomb. Momo can catch the bomb. Momo can only catch the one. And Cryptic is walking in from ramp. But he really shouldn't be able to get up the ladder at this point. This should be settled business.
I don't think he wants to. I feel like his only mission is to save here. If he catches a frag, that's great. But that's the round. Whew, very back and forth again. Lux and Lato, look at the health there. It just goes to show you how close this round ended up being. A couple of bullets away from Nouns getting it. Oh, and Cryptic tries to slip back in and grab the op off the ground, but it won't be his to carry into that next round. Good frag from Legacy. They get a 7th. They survive the important one, and they reset the economy of Nouns. That is the path back into it for Legacy, paved. Now they have to walk it.
There's a few more loose bricks to trip over.
Yes.
But it's
absolutely.
certainly smoother than it once was. Can't imagine too many of those bricks are going to come up in this round, though, John.
No, this one definitely not. The next one, though.
Then we got bricks.
We got lots of bricks. Maybe boulders.
Kind of like Indiana Jones style.
Yeah, exactly like that.
If one of these players winds up getting chased down a hallway by a giant boulder next round, I will question how you knew that. And also what game we're watching.
Yes.
I'll question a lot of things. Have I nodded off? Have I accidentally ingested something? Where am I? Who am I? All questions that these players in the server might be asking themselves. But in this moment, they're just asking themselves, how bad do you want it?
Wow, look at Cryptic. He is a statue right now, not moving a muscle.
Static on the
Holding
ankle.
the line. Yeah.
Waiting. Staring holes in his crosshair, waiting for a head to present itself. Momo will swing out. It's just a USP. Cryptic is dead. Momo will soon follow. And what little might have happened in this round is fast falling by the wayside. Clasia collected. But can Peeping snake a kill? He can indeed, and snake a gun. Peepy's out of there. I got what I wanted. I have an AK. So long. And thanks for all the fish.
I don't know if he's quite out of the woods just yet. Legacy could still chase this.
They could.
Although finding him is a little difficult. He's got that high ground on the rooftop, so looks like they said, okay, well, enjoy your AK. We will enjoy our 8th round victory.
An invigorating one.
Indeed.
But here come the guns back out, and with that saved AK as well, they can get a little bit better of weaponry behind it. Momo can drop the op on over without issue. So it should be a very good buy coming through from Nouns. That's exactly what happens. Clasia.
2 Augs.
Oh, he's thinking about it. He's cycling through every gun in existence at this point.
Yeah.
And then back to the boring old A1S. Come on, break out an XM. Aren't you a ramp player?
I don't know about the XM, but the AUG might have been nice. Look, Cryptic loves to play outside with with the AUG, and he has been so effective when I've seen him in this position, so this could be a difference maker of a round.
Junior pressing the line here in towards ramp. He's got an AUG. He wants to get bold with it, but it's Lux who goes for the mini drop. Big body's dropped so far. Huge damage done. But the sight is lost, and Sadzin's going to get those numbers punched in. It's Nissim and Sadzin. The op's going to come fighting in towards Hut. Junior's on the line. Junior's collected. His counterpart on the other side. It's all onto Nissim, but he will pop the dome of the first. Peering on over. Both players spotted, but Classia ducking under the crosshair. Snatches away the round.
That is beautiful synergy between Classy and Junior, peering around perfectly, making it difficult for them to be targets, and eventually it's closed up by Classy. A great shot from Junior as well, going into Hut to open up the potential for that retake to come through. And just, yeah, Nouns, that's 11. They're 2 rounds away, Mike, 2 rounds from the grand finals and a chance at ESL Pro League. Not to mention a second place finish with a roster that doesn't technically exist anymore. 2 players from it are already gone. I'm impressed if they make it. I'm still impressed if they don't, because they absolutely acquitted themselves so very well throughout the entirety of this BO3. We'll have to wait and see if they can convert. But right here, it's going to be 3 AKs, a Galil, and an AWP for Legacy. On the other side, Cryptic still has that AUG. He did get that frag in the previous round at Yard, so that helped a lot on the defensive end for Nouns. And he's back in a similar spot. Sadzine down to 30. It has not been his BO3 at all. Like, at all. No. He can't find his rhythm.
No, he's having a tough one. But if there was ever a time to lock in, it's right here and now. But his team needs him. Now tagged down to 30 off rip. Does make it somewhat challenging. But he's found Cryptic. Getting wide in the big garage. Cryptic was looking for this. Found a little bit more than he was bargaining for. And there's no one lower just yet for Nouns. So there is a prime opportunity here. As I say that, Classia and Peeping both adjust. They hear this. Peeping. Careful not to lose his life. He found a dink. And Classy can collect. That's the bomb.
Is that bomb? Yeah.
Bomb here at the double doors. That could be a blunder. No one was positioned to move with him. Classy would love to get a teammate on the line. And he's actually going to give up that C4, knowing it was just a little too tough to hold. The door opened. The door opened. Oh my goodness, they weren't prepared. The swing back in. They all just commit to the exact same fight. But it's Peeping now with too many targets to find. And the health remaining. 8 for Nissim, 9 for Dumao. But Legacy, hang on.
That's sloppy from Nouns, to be honest. I mean, you get bomb control delivered at your feet. I don't necessarily mind falling off of it, but once you do, just set up the crossfires and wait. You don't have to try to make anything happen just because the door is open there. And they do. 3 players, all 4 in fact, commit to that fight. And in the end, it's Legacy winning out. Weird circumstances there for Nouns. They are certainly going to want that one back, as they're now on an eco. They got the 5-7 to Deagle and 3 USPs. Still a 2-round cushion, which may soon only be 1. That could have been the 12th. Letting it slip away. That's also a misthrown smokes, I believe, on the Legacy side. I think 2 smokes went into the same spot.
Seems to be, yeah. Little miscommunication about who was going to throw what.
Yeah.
This is, fortunately for them, probably not the round where Nouns are going to be able to punish, but as I say that, Cryptic rattles 1 off. Sadzin's no good, very bad day continues. And there's a player stuck at red. Now finds the 1, but he's traded. Now that's 2 guns that can be claimed by the CT side. A walkout. Lackadaisical there for Momo. But the AWP now in the hands of Junior. Classia with an AK. The gaining perch is lower. Can Peeping surprise one with this 5-7? It's a bit of a ruse. But Junior's on the line here. It's squeaky. This is getting crazy. Peeping's walking up
It
ramp.
is.
Peeping's walking up ramp with that 5-7. Where does he want to go with it? Big kill on Classia. Junior's still a problem. He's just missed the player heaven, but no, he'll collect.
What a flick.
Snaps back around. Molotov to force one out. Lotto's low. He'll have to swing off of this. But they both get purchased back. In towards the hut. AK picked up. AK picked up, but it can't connect. Nissim realizes just in the nick of time. I think he might have spotted a pixel. If Junior had a kit, you'd almost believe, but of course he doesn't. It's an eco here, but they're going to swing him. They're going to give him a chance, but he never expected Nissim to be on the same line. It comes down to the one. This was just pistols for Nouns, and they nearly crack it through.
Wow, you almost forgot it was pistols in that round for Nouns, honestly. I certainly did for a moment. Jeez, almost pulling that one off. Junior had another peek at it, but just, yeah, like you said, surprised, I guess, that Nissim was coming from the exact same angle. Timeout going to be called here. And because it comes down to only one player left for Legacy, look at their money. If they lose this round, only $1,400 going in their bank accounts. They will be effectively broke with their lives on the line if, and only if, Nouns are able to get this. If Legacy get it, it's the same story, just reversed. Oh boy.
Nouns looking at the chance to close here and now in regulation. Legacy, maybe. Just drawn this out to OT at a minimum. Couldn't be easy. Not here. Not in the consolidation final of Season 49 of the ESL Challenger League. It's been a long road for these teams. And neither's ready for it to end just yet.
Oh.
Pop on the smoke.
I thought it would reveal more, Mike.
Well, it probably did for the mini player, but volumetric there. Cryptic snatched away. Sadzin peered over. That's a 5v4 that is much welcome for Legacy. There could be a crunch, though. Look at Nissim. Actually, might be on the roof. He is, in fact, on the roof. Altitude deceptive here. Classia. Managed to find the one. Could catch the mini drop player as well. Lato figuring it out. Assuming that he would tuck. He was correct. Junior gone. The pieces are falling away here for Nouns. The players losing control. He's taking such a risk here. He's taking such a risk. It's going to pay off, but he needs to snap around, and he knows it. The secret player coming up. The mini player's prepared. Momo and Peeping on the same page. And now Momo locks this down. And Sadzin, 6 HP. He's done his work this round, but it's not enough.
He could still get the plant here, Mike, going in towards the B side. In fact,
that'd be a nice
it's realized by Nouns. Oh no, they realize it. Here comes Momo.
Comes back around. If he can isolate these fights, I mean, that's also huge. Molotov, can't get it stuck. He's going to plant in the open. Momo not going for the swing. Now he can get the op back out, but he's got no health. One bullet will do it. He takes the first.
No
Peeping
way.
in a 1v1. First bullet to land ends this. Sides in on the angle. Can he clutch up when his team needs him most? No!
Oh my goodness.
Shot goes wide, and Peeping will let him know. Don't lose track of that bomb there. It's a 10-second defuse.
Yeah, no kidding.
But time enough to get that thing done. Op to survive into the next round as well, and map point.
Oh my gosh.
Secured by Peeping.
I mean, Mike, we talked about Sadzin having his opportunities to have an impact on this match, having his chances in the latter part of this to really make a difference. And what better opportunity than that? He's there, he gets the first, the second one goes right into his crosshair, but he just reacts too slowly. He just misses the shot.
We finally got the explosive play.
Yeah.
From Sadzin. Double opener outside.
Yeah.
Near clutch inner. And it still wasn't quite enough. This buy is a bit haggard for Nouns, but much the same on the other side. We got Tech9s into an XM. This is going to be fireworks. Tournament life on the line here for Legacy. They need 2 rounds.
And Nouns need 1.
Just 1.
There's the XM you wanted, Mike.
I got it. If it comes through the barrel of Momo's shotgun, all the better. You can understand why they might want to go for an explosive hit here, but Peeping was prepared for it. Momo as well. The XM chimes in. The XM is tearing them apart. Sadzin again in a clutch. This one even more impossible than the last, and he's left the bomb behind in hut. Surely there's no chance. But he's got a minute 20 to try and find a solution to an impossible puzzle. Meanwhile, wrapping outside, it's Junior, who's now gone past him, now slipped through. I'll have to make some sort of an audio cue to get off of this silo. Oh, he's seen him.
Okay.
He slipped the net. Junior didn't know, but he's wary. When am I going to be heard? He's just far enough away that Junior didn't hear those. So the slow wrap back in, but at some point, Junior's going to turn around and think, well, where has he gotten to?
And also, Sadzin has to start thinking, how do I get the bomb back and make this possible with 37 seconds left?
He does have to make the move at the end of the day. Down the ladder he goes. And that's the spot for Junior.
Wow.
Nouns. A clutch succeeded, and then a comfortable final round. They move on. 13-10 here on Nuke, upsetting Legacy, bringing it through, moving all the way into that grand final.
I mean, this is really something else for Nouns to have made it to this point, getting their chance against NRG in the grand final, a second place finish at worst. Just super impressed with their resilience, with their ability to play under difficult circumstances, not being able to play with their full roster because they ran out of roster changes and it was already locked into these playoffs. But still, even then, they managed to do it. Cryptic deserves huge praise both for his play and for his calling throughout these entire playoffs. And now, like I mentioned, up against NRG, it is not a foregone conclusion. Nouns have won their maps against that team.
Yep.
Those grand finals are sure to be spicy.
It's a rematch of the upper final that was only a couple days ago, a day ago from now. So there is work ahead of them. A huge task in taking down NRG, but considering this team, considering the fact that we knew it was a dead roster coming in, the expectations were low, and they have overcome the expectations at every turn. This is such a massive win for the team, and if they could secure that Pro League spot, that spot in the ESL Pro League, that would be the massive feather in their cap that they might need to find a new home.
Yeah, and for them to find a new home would be phenomenal given the way things unfortunately went with Nouns, now known as Moneyball, and, well, maybe money will be on their side if they should win in that grand final, Mike.
Playing for their suppers, literally and figuratively. It's time for us to wrap up tonight's show. Nouns massively impressive in their victory over Legacy today. Disappointing one for the Brazilians, but they will come back stronger, I'm sure. But that'll have to be next season, because now it's NRG and Nouns, a date with Destiny, a date with the ESL Pro League tomorrow. We'll see you there.